Welcome back to a special April episode of Club Flashpoint. And why is it a special episode, you might ask?
I was asking that.
It's special because you're here, listener. Oh. You're here yet again to listen to us yappers talk about games.
As the kids say.
Woohoo!
Yep. Yappers.
Hi, my name's Dale Flashpoint. And next to me are a lot of people, actually, because we've got four hosts.
Four hosts for the fourth month of the year.
I think this is
You should.
That's
so
why
sorry.
it's special.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hold
it'll
on.
be 5 next month, and then 6 the month
hang
after
on.
that.
I was dealing with Billy. We need to take that. Again, I'm so
All right,
sorry.
What did I say?
There's four of us.
There's four of us.
I don't think that's exactly what you said, but yeah.
Should leave the whole thing in.
There's four of us.
It's the fourth month of the year. Four hosts.
There's four of us, and it's actually the first time all four of us have been in the same room to do a podcast.
That's right.
Last month was supposed to be the first one, but
For this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ever total. We've never all four been in
All
here.
of us have been in this room all at once.
Because last month was going to be the
Couture
first
too.
time.
No,
I wasn't here for
Dale
Couture
wasn't
too.
here for KOTOR 2.
Yeah. This is the first time Dale and I have been doing a podcast together. Yeah. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it's special. Everything's special.
Yeah.
Okay?
Special because
Okay,
you're
that's
here,
why it's
listener,
special.
and special because we're here.
Yep.
Wow.
Uncle's here, too.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Faden Cross.
And I'm Max.
And we're the podcast
The
brothers.
podcast
The
plays.
podcast siblings.
Club Flashpoint, one might say.
Sure.
Yep.
A coalition of yappers.
Mm-hmm.
Where every month we play one game and then we like to talk about it.
Yep.
And we also play another game, and we like to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so by my math, that's going to be 5 games we talk about.
It's true.
At
4
least.
plus 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we all played one, but we all also played one more.
And we never go on tangents mentioning
Numbers
no other games.
can't lie. You know, numbers when you put them together can make a puzzle. And there were a lot of puzzles that had numbers in this month's game, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which we will be talking about in just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But let's start off with a different game that we played. That I played, or that you played, or that maybe no one played. Why would we talk about a game that no one played? I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Has anyone who played like Seaman for the Dreamcast, I think it is? It's like that fish guy.
Sounds made
I've
up.
seen that game where it's
Right.
got weird
Oh, no, it
facial
doesn't sound made up because I
animations.
remember reading a Game Informer ad about one of the weirdest games of all time, and that was included in it. And this is from years ago now. Memory unlocked.
I bet it's not weird.
I
I bet it's perfectly normal.
I
looks
played it at a
great,
buddy's
yeah.
house. It is weird and not normal. I can tell you that.
Here's
Excellent.
the segment where we talk about a game we haven't played.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
we
in
just
there.
did it.
Well, I've been thinking about playing
We're making an
Myst.
April Fool of you, listener.
Oh, shit. That's why it's a special episode.
Yep. We're just several weeks late for it.
April Fools, we got you.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll talk about a game I played this month.
Thank
You
you.
better.
Thank
I'll
you.
get us-
You
Thank
better.
you.
Better than Faden
Uh,
to start us off.
So, well, it's not even this month. It's been like the past 2 months, but I have finally finished all of Fate Stay Night. a 2005 visual novel developed by Type Moon. They made a remaster, so there's now finally an official English port.
Ah, yes.
They took out the hentai scenes of this visual novel, of course, because this is, America. But
The puritanical sanitization of art in America.
People don't have sex in this country.
no,
Yeah.
no, people don't like it when historical King Arthur sucks your dick off.
Right off.
Like all the way off.
It's just gone.
I'm starting to think maybe that's okay.
So the plot of Fate Stay Night is you play as this high schooler named Shiro Emiya, and wouldn't you know it, he's entangled in this secret mage society war to get the Holy Grail. The winner of the Holy Grail war gets to get one wish.
Harry Potter.
Why do all
How is this Harry Potter? I don't. Wait, what? What?
And the Goblet of Secrets.
The Goblet of One Wishes.
The goblet. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Sorcerer's Goblet of Secrets.
That's
exactly
that's
what
my
this is.
favorite turf book.
Secret Mage War for the Secret Goblet of Secrets.
Yeah,
That's a Marvel comic line.
Oh, yeah.
The Secret Mage War.
Yeah.
the
Come
secret
on.
mage war. So yeah, the secret mage war happens in this city in Japan where they summon a Holy Grail. Now, it's not Jesus' Holy Grail. Don't worry about that. But the church is very interested in this Holy Grail war. However, that's not the important stuff. The important stuff is which one of the 3 girls in your harem are you going to date?
Yes.
Only 3? That's not a very big harem.
I mean, no, but,
It's the first game.
It would be if they're big girls.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Well, so you got your Saber, the servant that you summon for the Holy Grail War. Every single master in the war gets to summon a servant from a different class. So you get like 7 different Blorbos that you can fawn over.
Blorbos.
Oh, is this your first time encountering the word Blorbo?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just like a guy that you like. Like it's like a Blorbo in the Star Wars universe would be IG-88.
You're making this up.
I'm not making this up.
Unfortunately, they are not.
Continue, sorry.
So
Thank you for
yeah,
the
you
vocab
get
lesson.
You get 7 most of the time hot characters. Is there a non-hot character out of the 7 servants? No. Okay, so you get 7 hot servants to summon in the Holy War. But one of them's dateable. So that's the first route you're going through. I'm going to romance this historical servant, Saber. Who is she? She's a mystery. Ooh, ah. The other one is I'm going to date the kind of really smart, slightly popular girl in school, Rin. She's so mysterious. She's so, what's her deal? And she's also mean. She's so mean to me. She's constantly calling me an idiot, and it's a bit hot.
Tsundere.
It's a bit
Yeah,
hot.
she's the tsundere love route. Now, what about the third option?
I am dying to know.
The secretly 300-year-old lolicon sex icon.
No.
Thankfully, no, the 18-year-old lolicon character is not romanceable, and that was... okay, so...
Is it a boy with a question mark at the end of it?
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately not.
Dang.
No. But... Look, I could get into a triad about Ilia's Field. There's a lot going on with her, and I don't like a lot of it. But the last route is Sakura, the 1 year, like she's like not a first year, maybe a first year. I don't know how I can't remember how it. Yeah, she's a first year because you're a second year high schooler. She's a first year high schooler. And so she calls you senpai, and she cooks meals with you, and she's great. And Sakura's the best character in all this series, and it's great. Just have a good time. Each route is like, what if something else happens in the war, and then just completely alters the trajectory of it? So, at first it seems like, I'm just gonna get something slightly different, and then it just wildly diverges, and it's a lot of fun. You get to. You don't get the complete story unless you play all 60 hours of this visual novel.
Oh, doggy.
Big story.
Huge, especially when you realize the third route has twice as many scenes every single day as the other 2 routes. So it's the final route you're playing, and it's probably about 50% longer.
So did you replay all the routes for it? Then?
I didn't. Well, this is my first time playing it, but
okay.
yeah, I played through every single route.
Gotcha.
I went through all of them.
Wow.
But I mean, you have to in order to get to the next one. You have to beat the first one.
It makes you go back and relive.
Right, because the story
Gotcha.
the story has twists and turns to it that reveal itself over the course of these 3 routes.
Mm-hmm.
So you never get the full answer at the end of each route. You always get just pieces of information. And then the whole thing just kind of comes together in the end of the 3rd route, and it's kind of the quote-unquote, I guess I would say canonical ending, I would guess, because it's the one that you get the most time for. It's also the one that has the most slice of life stuff, which I think is the best thing about this game. So I first came to the series via the anime.
Right.
Yeah, I figured it sounded familiar.
I saw the first 2.
Right, you saw like what, Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works?
Yes.
Zero sounds familiar. Yeah.
Those are the 2.
Those were
I've
the
seen.
2 modern ones. There was a
Yes.
2005 Fate Stay Night anime, which is the Saber route.
I saw that too.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've seen those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and the Unlimited Blade Works is the Rin route.
And I don't think I finished that one. I think that's the
It's a weird one.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
grim.
Yeah.
That one's
Yeah.
a sad one.
yeah.
Is that the one where there's a crazy serial killer guy in that? Which one, was that one of them that I?
Technically, that's all of them.
Is all of them?
there's-
Okay.
Because
There's
they're
at least
all
one
in-
of those in all of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I remember of it is the Holy Grail, and there was also a really creepy serial killer guy.
There's
Bluebeard's a pretty rough character.
There's many sickos in these games.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is a game filled with sickos who just want to like torture people a lot of times or kill them in fucked up ways. And like, oh, you have these horrifying deaths. Like, damn, looks like your bottom half is missing.
Oh.
And your character like describes all that because it's a visual novel. I'm like, oh wow, all right.
Ouchie.
Going through it's the classic like, oh yeah, this is kind of where the visual novels like they can be fucked up and dark and grim because it's all text instead of images. And you know, that stuff is hit and miss in that game. And like, it's also really sick though. It's really sick when Saber fights fucking Ryder. I love that. I love that fight.
Hell yeah.
I don't like anything to do with Ilias Field sexually. It's weird. I don't need this 10-year-old who's actually 18-year-old character.
that is just.
But also,
yeah, that's a rough one for me.
Yeah.
it makes it really rough when it's also she's sister coded.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
you're right.
weird
That is-
part.
that's really rough.
That's the really really weird part where I'm
Yeah.
like, but she's the little sister character.
Ooh.
And that's like her intentional purpose in the story. And then she's like on your lap at one point. And I'm like, well, why is this part getting its own special fucking screen?
Yeah. Yeah, some taboos really should be booed.
Look, there's like I think there's like one thing where it's like you can't control people on the internet. But if you're mass producing
about that.
if you're mass producing a thing like this, you have some obligation to not be fucking a creep.
Yeah.
I think like there's that kind of sort of
Art.
But I love it when they're talking about making food together, and fucking Saber is a food-hungry monster, and the teacher character is Fujini is the best character in all the series. That she's in none of the animes, and I just love having like this chaotic parental guardian who is a mess and needs her ward to make her food because she can't make food at all.
I'm curious, do they make a wish at the end?
Complicated question.
Okay.
Many wishes are made, I'll tell you what.
Okay.
It's an anime, so
Yeah.
many people have wishes.
Gotcha.
And the wishes change and desires change depending on the route.
Of course.
Yep. The third route's crazy. It's so insane. I'm like, oh my god. I was just.
Is it because it's the kind of situation, if I remember correctly, where it's kind of like you get your deepest desire, but what is your deepest desire or something like that?
No.
Okay, so it's not
No,
quite
there's-
Stalker. It's like
No, it's not like Stalker. It's
Yeah.
like, I guess, slight spoiler. What if there's something fucked up in the Holy Grail?
yeah.
What if there's a fucked up guy in there? Is kind of
Okay.
one of the secrets you learn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Genie in the Grail.
Or the Zoroastrianism devil.
That was my second guess.
Demiurge.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. It's such a late game. Like, oh, by the way, there's an entity in here that makes the wishes fucked up, man.
Them entities.
Them entities. This is what happens when you create a homunculi to summon the basis of evil.
Now it sounds like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, that's where I went. As soon as you say homunculus, it's just Full Metal Alchemist at that
There's
point.
a guy fucking with your wishes.
The monkey's paw curls.
Yeah.
I would love to have a monkey's paw. I bet I could use it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guarantee I can
Thus
make
begins every monkey's paw
Yeah.
story.
it. No, because see, they
This
don't.
time,
I got
I'll
this.
get it
Yeah.
right.
No, because they don't know it's a monkey paw. And
Yeah.
so they know it's a wish granting device,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Why?"
What kind of animal is this paw from?
I once,
Right, or that like they don't know it's the cultural
Yeah.
concept of monkey paw.
Exactly.
I would, and so therefore I could win.
in my classroom, I was really frustrated with my students' lack of specificity in their writing, and so I made up a game for them where each of them got to make a monkey's paw wish, and then another student in the class was randomly assigned to ruin their wish based on what they specifically asked for. And then the kid would get a chance to rewrite their wish, and then the monkey's paw student would have to tell them why that didn't work.
That's so
and,
cool.
And they would just keep going back. We spent like a whole 70. It got kind of, everybody was like freaking out by the end of it, really worked up and like arguing over the nuance of every single word
Hell
and
yeah.
interpretation, which is exactly what I fucking
That's the
wanted.
point.
That's
But we spent 72 minutes ruining each other's dreams. It was great.
I love that.
And that's the end of my anecdote about your game.
Your monkey paw.
My monkey paw. I just want to be with the girl who also likes to learn to cook from me.
Yeah.
Look,
I feel that.
I got to teach her how to cook. She doesn't know.
Yeah. It's not as fun as you think.
The cleanup, that's the worst part.
Look, if you can just guilt people into cleaning up for you, it works out.
Doing dishes is like Sisyphean torture.
It really
Yeah.
is.
That's true.
It's the worst chore of them all. It's never done.
Never.
Did anybody else play any other games, or are we?
I played another game.
I thought we were going to talk about chores. Dale, you played another game?
I played a chore game.
Oh, shit. No way.
Kind of, actually. So the game I played is called Hydroneer. And
Like
it's
Astroneer?
not at all like
It's not when you hide things far.
It's
Hydro
hydro.
near.
it's you gotta get hide
Near.
near, so
Yeah.
it takes less time
Hydro
to go
weed
find
near.
it.
Hydrodro near.
Yeah.
Hydro Dro. I'm constantly hitting that Dro, bro.
Yeah.
Hydroneer
All that Dro.
is
All
a
that
game
Dro.
developed and published by Foul Ball Hangover.
That's a good name.
That's
It's
a good name.
pretty cool game. It's been around for about 5 years in early access. It's 1.0 and like a few updates into 1.0 now. But it's a very interesting kind of industry simulator sort of game. You start out at the very bare bones of panning for minerals, materials, gold.
Okay.
So you start the game with a shovel and a bucket and a pan, and you're next to a river. So you scoop some dirt into the bucket with your shovel, and you pour the dirt into the pan, and you put some water in the pan, and then you scrub the dirt in the pan, and you got some chunks of golden iron and maybe a gemstone.
See, when you say hydroneer, I thought this would be like I have to get water lines and shit.
Eventually, you get to start laying pipe.
Nice.
Every piece of the industry in this game is hydropower. So you will carefully put out different lengths of pipe and plan out kind of the plumbing of your industry with conveyor belts that attach to the pipes, and then the pipes power stuff like auto mining machines and refiner machines and sorting machines, and so it becomes this kind of puzzle of factory layout. So this was another game that I used pen and paper and notes to like do different layout plans for.
Now, do you get to privatize the water, or is it all public service water, or does it not get into that part of the industry?
It does not get into that part of the industry. This game is very British. Everyone talks.
That makes me question why it's more not that.
It's like it takes place in this kind of weird steampunk-ish fantasy setting. There's castles and fences and like British countryside imagery, but you're driving this kind of giant truck that has hydropower. You fill it up with water to keep it running.
Hydropunk.
It's hydropunk. There we go.
Nice.
So yeah, the map is pretty sizable. There's different plots of land for you to purchase as you level up stuff, and it's all money based. So you get the ore, you refine the ore, you sell the ore. You get the money to buy more stuff to do it better, faster, stronger, all of that good stuff.
Hydroer,
more hydrosity. Yeah, it's a game that feels like it would be multiplayer, but it's only split screen multiplayer. You can play with one other person in split screen.
Okay.
And it doesn't. I don't like playing it so much with a controller. It's better with mouse and keyboard, so you can't really split screen mouse and keyboard.
Rip.
Yeah.
Well, someone can.
Someone can. One person can be on mouse and keyboard, but the other person has to suffer through the controller. Yes, it does have a jump button, so it's a good game.
Nice.
And
I keep thinking about hydrosity, and I landed on what it is.
What's hydrosity?
Hydrosity is an AI algorithm, like water service subscription.
Oh.
So it's an AI algorithm that determines how much water it thinks you need and sends you that amount of water.
I thought it was an urban center where all the multi-headed beasts lived.
Oh, that's
Hydra
Hydra
City.
City. Yeah, I like that one too.
God, writing down Hydra City.
Hydra City.
We've all got puzzle brain.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's
that sounds
pretty much it
cool.
for Hydroneer. It's
Nice.
really
It reminds me
Factorio,
of
but water.
Factorio. That's the thing I first came to mind.
Factorio, Satisfactory, that
Hydtorio.
kind of thing.
That fun loop of starting small, then do the same small task but bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or automate that small task so that you can focus on bigger scale.
Does the automation feel good in this? Because I feel like sometimes automation can go, then what am I doing here?
That's the perfect question, right? So there have been times where playing, I'm doing air quotations, this game has been me turning the game on and making sure the machinery doesn't break down.
Oh my.
And like just watching a conveyor belt go.
Watching paint dry.
Watching the Rube Goldberg machine just
Yep.
kind of have everything.
Yeah. So there's a satisfaction in that, but for how long, right?
Right.
I have started to wonder, like, I haven't bought any more land, any of the other plots. There is that's not true. I bought one plot in a castle. There's like a vertical wall of dirt.
Ooh.
For you to, vertically mine. So that seems kind of like a cool challenge.
Okay.
that I will eventually
Maybe
start.
you just need to just start doing new plots of land.
Yeah, do new plots, to get more material, bigger, better, faster, stronger.
Harder work is never over.
That's right. Daft Punk said it best.
Oh, right. That's that That's right. Who?
Hydroneer.
Oh.
Nice.
Play it now on Steam or Xbox, or it's not on Switch.
No, don't play
don't
anything.
play it there.
No, don't play
Don't play
anything.
anything on
Hold on.
Xbox.
Don't play anything on Xbox.
Play it on PlayStation or computer.
Or don't
Game
play it
Boy.
at all.
Or don't play it.
Yeah.
Fuck that game.
Fuck that game.
You like watching paint dry?
Yeah. Make it yourself, Don't
Just
buy
go
it.
grab a
Yeah.
pan.
Yeah.
Just grab a shovel.
Grab a pan, go to the local crick, and start sifting.
That's what I do.
What about you, Max? I'm curious because you weren't here last month.
Yeah. I've been playing a game for 2 months, pretty much constantly, never stopping, never waning. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Did you play it this morning before you got here?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not play it
Curious,
this morning.
curious.
No. I did play it yesterday, though.
That's basically this morning.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Wilds, the newest Monster Hunter game in the series. It's got a lot of controversy actually behind the game.
Whoa,
a lot of
really?
people actually upset about it. I'm not one of those persons.
They have
completely.
damage numbers.
They had damage numbers in this
damage
game,
numbers
in World and in Rise.
I know.
I like it because when I play Greatsword, you get big number, and it's like,
Big
yes, I did get big number, and it's sad. It's satisfying, but you can turn it off if you don't like damage numbers. That option's there for
Oh,
you.
wait, can you turn off damage
Yes,
numbers?
you
So
can.
why are we complaining?
In every game, you can turn them off.
I was just curious. I just never.
However, to
the
your
numbers
credit-
mean nothing to me.
To your credit, there is no jump button, so it is a bad game. You can jump off ledges, but you can't manually jump yourself.
There's a jump button
Unless
in Monster Hunter Rise.
you play Insect Glaive, so that must be the best class because there is a dedicated jump button.
Okay.
Insect Glaive, you can jump around.
Yeah.
That is true.
The Monster Hunter games, you are a guy and you are going to go hunt monsters, and then you're going to take their pieces and put them on your body to get different buffs so you can kill monsters faster.
Or
And-
differently.
Or differently. And the one thing that I'll say about this, because the big issue people have is lack of content, but this is the same comment that most people say whenever they play a Monster Hunter game, that the master rank hasn't come out yet.
But it used to come out though.
What we mean used to?
I mean, before
define that.
World, it used to come out more often.
Every single game that the U.S. has gotten, we've always gotten. Well, actually, no.
Wasn't 3?
Well, 3, no, because you have Try, and then you have.
My God,
we-
I forget Monster Hunter.
Then we immediately got 3 Ultimate. We never got.
Right.
We never just got
Right,
3.
right.
Then we had 4. Then 4 Ultimate. Then we had Generations and Generations Ultimate, which was Cross and Double Cross. A lot of different naming schemas. Basically, the last half of the game where the end game is, they ship that like a year later usually.
Yeah.
And that's where you have all your end game fights for everything.
Right.
The big thing about this game, because there's always a different mechanic that they add to the game. This one is the wound system, where you hit a part of the monster enough, you'll get like a little like wound that'll pop up, a little red like scar on them, and then you can do a special. Every weapon's got a special move where they can hit that wound for a big cool animation, big damage. Very very satisfying. It's the most satisfying combat out of any of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Save maybe Generations Ultimate if you've played that game thoroughly.
What about the Wii ones?
We don't talk about Monster Hunter Try. Monster Hunter Try is whack, and I would never recommend that game to anybody except for someone that's played all the previous Monster Hunter
It
games.
was kind of cool.
It had cool, interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Underwater content was interesting.
No, it was bad.
but it was bad and not fun to play, in my opinion.
What happened to the paintballs?
They
Bring 'em
They're
back.
still in the game. There's
Bring
no
'em
reason to
back.
use them.
No,
I don't know why. Whetstones, you have an unlimited amount, and you always have them.
That is
They've
nice.
definitely streamlined the game a lot,
Yeah.
which people can gripe about. It just streamlines the game to me, so I can go fight the monster quicker. But
But it's called Monster Hunter, not Monster Fighter.
yeah, it's true. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know. They've definitely streamlined the game, modernized it quite
Yeah.
a bit to make it less jank. Because the older games were jank. I played all of them, so they are quite jank. But with Wilds, people are upset. Not enough content. The biggest complaint I will say about it is the armor building, the set building. So you have different pieces of armor, do different things. It's kind of completely destroyed. Every single weapon uses basically the same exact 5 pieces, just because it's the most DPS optimal without.
Dang.
But however, you also don't need to be DPS optimal because unfortunately the monsters all have really low HP, and so every fight is done within about 5 minutes.
Oh no! Okay, that would be
Yeah.
the worst.
That is the
That's
worst
thing
part.
I've always remembered about this game being relatively inaccessible for somebody like me is
Yeah.
that it's like 30, 40 minutes
Every
a
single
fight.
hunt
That's
is
a
usually
commitment.
about 15 to 30 minutes normally in the previous Monster Hunter games. In this game,
I mean, they
It's-
used to give you an hour.
yeah,
for some of
55
them.
minutes is usually what you ended up having for most of the fights. But this
Yeah.
one, you're pretty much they're limping away at the 5-minute mark.
Interesting. That
Which
explains why I saw some screenshots from friends getting like sub 2-minute fight.
yes,
times.
I've also gotten sub 2-minute fight because
That's not Monster Hunter.
The-
What?
so all of the bad stuff that there is to say about this game, the biggest
How's
thing,
the dog?
dog's gone, no Palamute.
But what's the new dog? How's the new dog?
The new
the, like,
secret,
flying
the
dog
secret, the flying
thing.
Velociraptor thing.
Yeah.
The chocobo.
Yeah, the chocobo. I did make mine as soon as you got customization. I made mine super yellow, so it doesn't
Nice.
look like a chocobo. You get a mount, and some people are upset about that. The biggest thing about the mount is that you don't know the maps because the mount will take you directly where you need to go.
No.
Yeah,
We were
it
talking
takes
about that
Right,
playing
I
it
Rise,
takes
forgot.
a
remember?
long amount of time
And
to learn the
I was
map.
so stoned and having a hard time navigating the map, and I was like, I could use that right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. This game is very fast paced. That's probably why the fights don't take very long because you're immediately fighting the monster, and you're right behind it when it runs away because you're as fast as the monster can be.
That's kind of a bummer to me. Because,
is.
Like, I get where like it makes it you get in and out of fights.
Yeah.
And like
Easier to play the game.
I think
easier to play the game, but I feel like Monster Hunter has always strived for being like super thought out.
yeah.
For having tactics in
Like
it.
there's a huge part of the game previously was building the item list I'm gonna bring to my fight
Yes.
per monster.
Right.
You don't really need to do that
Grinding
anymore.
For the gems to get the exact stat
Yeah,
boost.
Colt. Yeah, that too.
Going to the hitting the bug spots to collect
Yeah.
all the bugs to get my traps, to
Yeah.
get my toxins, to get my spider webs.
This game, more than any of the other previous games, you just kind of have all the items you need.
Bummer.
I will say I am like 160 hours into the game.
Yeah.
And I am Hunter rank 250. So like I've played the game a lot. Probably more than most people have played the game at this point. But the reason why I like it so much, even all of that bad stuff that I've said, is this is the first Monster Hunter game that has made me actually want to go and use all 14 different weapons.
Oh, okay.
And I did do that. I have I have
Okay.
the end game set for all 14 different weapons.
wow.
And like all DPS optimized, and they're all fantastic to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the game that got me to realize, oh, hunting horn people aren't just weird. It is a really cool and interesting, fun weapon to use.
Yes, it is.
You hear that,
It
Faden?
always
You're not
has
just
been.
weird.
Heavy bowgun, light bowgun aren't just for weirdos. It actually is enjoyable.
No.
gameplay.
The heavy bow gun, light bow
Heavy-
gun are for weirdos.
Heavy bowgun is for weirdos. Light bowgun is for cool people now. I don't use
okay,
heavy bowgun that much, but light bowgun,
I never got the guns or the bows.
it's
in
always
Monster Hunter.
weird. Monster Hunter World is the first one where I started doing range combat with the bow
okay.
because it was much more like you put the close range file on, so you're just as close as melee people, and you're just dashing back and forth doing full level 3 charge shots over and over again. It was crazy for the amount of DPS you could do out there. They basically just did that for light bow gun this time around. So you just kind of dash back and forth and shoot a bunch of bullets instead of just like 1 to 3 shots per shot.
Yeah.
It feels very satisfying.
Nice. Light bow gun was fun in Generation Ultimate.
Yes.
With the aerial hunter style.
Mm-hmm. That's why Generations is still my favorite game, is the hunter styles.
Yeah, hunter styles is sick.
Bring that back, please.
I've never played the Generation games.
It's the best one out of any of them, just because the roster list is like,
it's huge.
It's the large. Basically, it was the game where they said, "What if we just put them all in one?"
Everyone's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some really cool fights, like the Deviants, where you've got Bloodbath Diablos, like these monsters that have like a storyline to them a little bit, where it's like, why are they so much different than everything else? Bloodbath Diablos is different because when he was getting hunted previously by another hunter, the hunter broke off his horn, he got pissed, killed the hunter, and then the hunter's blood like bathed the Diablos, and so now he's got this messed up twisted tri-horn that's growing out of one side of his face. Ooh. And he's anytime he sees a hunter, he's the new hunter. He is constantly going to kill just hunters because of what they did to him and stuff like that.
Damn. Fucked up, man.
Monster Hunter Wilds, super fun.
Now, what's the best monster in this one?
Ooh.
Best monster and best name of monster.
And best new monster.
Well, I know Uncle's favorite monster name has always been Gore Magala.
Yeah.
Gore Magala is back.
Gore Magala.
And then, assuming later on we'll get the next variant of that monster, Shiguru Magala. Is super funky. But
Magala.
My favorite monster they added to this game is Arkfeld, the flagship monster. He's got giant red chains that he uses that are like scaly connected to his wing arms, and he'll throw them down and do a giant explosion. Very enjoyable, but I think my favorite monster name and monster in the game completely, even though it's not most fun to play, is the Cumatrice, which is a chicken. And the last thing I'll talk about with Monster Hunter Wilds is they actually progress the world state of Monster Hunter.
Now, what does that mean?
We've always known there was an ancient civilization. Now we know who they are and what they do and what they did. They very much tried to make this a story game, and it'll feel very obvious once you start playing it, and like, wow, there are a lot of cutscenes, there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of just walking and watching the environment while two people talk.
No!
There's a lot of that.
Wow,
so,
that's very different.
But you can still use your slinger to pick up stuff along the way, so you'll ignore the conversation, you'll just grab stuff because you want to grab stuff instead.
Yeah.
Everything that you say that's mildly interesting to me, you just like come by and stab me in the heart with something terrible.
That's pretty much the conversation with Wilds, is that look at all this really cool stuff, but you gotta get through this stuff. And
if another game has to make me walk very slowly while someone in front of me explains shit, I'm gonna fucking.
Luckily, it's not.
I'm gonna go
It's not the worst.
Exposition hikes.
These are the things that radicalize people into terrorism. Is like my kind of idea.
Luckily, you can be completely hands off, and it walks for you, so you don't have to worry.
I don't even have to do anything.
You don't have to play the game.
Have to play
It's like a visual novel, but
it's
it
like
moves.
Hydroneer.
Yeah,
but a visual novel, I still have to read.
I prefer to play my games, in a different room from the game.
I like just hearing it while I'm making food or something instead.
Yeah, I don't even want to know it's on. Actually, I just want somebody else to play it for me.
Yeah. But yeah, the game's really cool. The final boss is pretty epic.
Hell yeah. That's all you need.
I know. I don't want to spoil
We're
it
back.
because I know you're playing Monster Hunter, and when you get to the final boss, I was definitely doing that meme where it's like, oh, it's that. I know that.
It's another hunter.
It's
just another guy running around.
It's something pretty cool.
It's a monster.
And it's a fantastic fight, and it evolves while you fight it.
Ooh.
It's really, really
like a
cool.
Digimon or like a Pokemon? Or like a Dark Souls.
Or like Charles
Probably more like a
Darwinism.
definitely more like a Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3.
Sorry, would you say more like a Charlie Brown? What did you say?
I said I would like Charles Darwinism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
The natural evolution of life.
Those are my favorite little monsters.
Yeah. The ones here on planet Earth.
Darwinoids.
Darwinoid.
That's good. That's
now,
good.
okay, so how much more of Wilds do you got in you?
I will probably continue to play it.
Another 100 hours?
The other thing they added is The arena wasn't there on launch,
Oh, okay.
which was really weird. And like,
Arena
where
is
is this?
Man,
They now have
they
made
just
it.
have to launch with less and less things.
They
every
really
game.
do, because it comes out in pieces. The event quest is still like weird, like in
Everything
World,
is fucking live service now.
where it's like you get a new event quest this week, but we'll take it away in 2 weeks and put up a new one instead.
no.
But when the festivals are happening, all the event quests are back that were ever available, and so you can get on and replay. And it feels weird. The microtransactions you don't have to engage in because it's just emotes and like layered armor, which is armor you can put over your, but it never looks good, so you never want to buy it.
Thank God for that.
But the arena quest they made it so there's like a leaderboard, and it's like up for 4 weeks. Try to get your best time, and you get a cool little talisman if you get the best time. That was super enjoyable because that was my first kind of step into speedrunning techniques of how to get the most optimal time out of all the buffs, out of all the different skills you could be using. It was a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you're not interested in playing Monster Hunter 2 online.
Monster Hunter Dose or 2?
2. What's the difference between Dose and 2?
Exactly. The game is super. This whole series is weird. There's a difference between Dose and 2. There's a difference between Try and 3.
I mean, like 2 for the PS2.
Oh, is that before or after Freedom Unite? Is that the same game as Freedom Unite, but just the Freedom Unite is the... I think 2
I don't know.
eventually becomes Freedom, and then the ultimate version is Freedom Unite. I played that for the PSP emulator on PC.
So what generation is Wilds? Because I know the generations in Monster Hunter is also unhinged.
I don't know if it's 6 or 7. I don't know.
yeah,
Because it is unhinged because there's an A team and a B team making 2 different games at the same time.
Yeah, this is like the Call of Duty situation.
Yes, yeah.
Yikes.
This is the A team's game. So the start of a new generation, I think. I think it's generation 6 or 7.
Okay,
One of those two.
okay. That's all my Monster Hunter questions.
Monster Hunter 2 is the sequel of Monster Hunter. It was only released in Japan because the Monster Hunter series had only a small cult following elsewhere in the world. While being huge in Japan, new features included day and night changes, seasons, new monsters, new weapons. Monster Hunter 2 did not see a North American release. However, Monster Hunter Freedom 2, a game based on its content, was able to make it to American shores. This is the game that introduced the longsword, the gun lance, the hunting horn, and the bow.
I gotta play the game that has the first hunting horn.
But yeah, Monster Hunter, I love it, and you should too.
Play it
All
once.
Action. Play it once, and then you'll hate it, and then you'll come back to it later, 4 months later, try it again, and then you'll like it.
Monster Hunter Rise usually goes on sale. It's a really good game.
Rise is a great game. World's a good game. If you want the best one, go to it for Generations, but I wouldn't recommend it be your first one.
Just play Monster Hunter.
Don't play the first one.
Just play the first one.
Start with 4 if you're going to start with any of the game. 4 Ultimate.
Just play the first one. Why not?
Actually, start with World.
No, don't start with World. What are you doing?
I think it's the easiest one to transition and be the highest catch rate of
Sounds like Wilds
someone's
is.
first try. Maybe Wilds is the best one to start with. I don't know. I started with Try, so...
Or maybe the best one is a good one.
Monster Hunter 2, not released in
maybe
North
2.
America.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. So that's the game that I played for the last 2 months.
What about you, Uncle?
I played another dress up game.
But not an actual dress up game.
It's a horse girl game.
Okay.
But weirdly, you play a guy. And he's big and gruff, and he has facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
God.
It's also kind of an outdoorsy game. There's camping. There's you can go fishing.
A Boy Scout game.
There's some hunting involved. You can do some hunting. There's other elements. I don't know. Anyway, I played Red Dead Redemption 2.
I knew it.
Love this game.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
You find... Oh, man.
Cowboy core.
Okay, no, continue. I need to know.
Are you genuinely surprised?
I'm genuinely fucking surprised because this game is boring.
Really? So that's so interesting to me. I think this game is really simple. And and I say that as deep and as many things you can do in this game, as long and extensive as the story is, as many characters as there are. It's quite simple to play this game. It's, you're moving a little guy around, and most interactions of the game are a single button press.
Nice.
Combat is very easy. You can basically stop time, decide who you want to kill, how you want to kill them, and then you press the button and you do it. You don't have to use that mechanic if you want, and I often will just not use that mechanic because it's more fun to challenge myself.
Deadeye.
But sometimes it's neat to do Deadeye crazy shit. You get to pick your outfits, and you get to customize your outfits based on the animals you murder. And you, so what I like about this game is, it's simple to play. I really needed something simple and distracting.
It's totalizing. So,
Yes.
your brain kind of has to... It's just sunk into the thing.
Yes, it is immersive, one might say.
One might.
I would
you
say
get
that.
you get pretty sucked in. Things I really like about this game. You can change perspective really easily in every single situation, and you can do some pretty interesting things and make it more cinematic in that way. Every single piece of paper you pick up is actually something that's written out. You can read it in first-person perspective, like every letter, every note, every map. You can look at it that way. Some things you can only look at that way. It's has really, really diverse cast of really interesting characters. And when I say diverse, I mean, there are different, identities and stuff. But
Lenny.
Yes, but I mean, there are really different kinds of people in this game.
There are. It's a camp of weirdos.
A lot of different personalities represented, and all the side characters you can find. You can just run in any random direction, and something interesting will present itself to you. So you don't have to do a lot of thinking in this game. You don't have to do a lot of planning, unless you want to. You can in some cases for some.
There's no point in planning
elements.
in this game.
Just a bunch of root tootin' shooting.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. It's easy. It's fun. There's a lot to do. It's very distracting. I had fun playing it.
We need more money.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that.
The story is as simple as it gets. It's as obvious as it gets. There's not really a twist in there that's gonna jump and get you.
How far are you story-wise?
I've beaten it before.
Okay.
I'm pretty far. I'm not too far off from realizing I have tuberculosis. The hints are pretty obvious. But I honestly, what I really appreciated is just how many times this game made me laugh. I really like the Lenny scene you referenced a second ago.
Right.
You get drunk with a kid in a bar, or a young man, a teenager, and you get progressively more and more inebriated, and you say sillier and sillier shit, and your prompts for different activities start reading backwards, or the letters are all scrambled, or it'll say one thing and you'll push the button and you'll say something completely different. It's like how your brain actually works when you're drunk. I really enjoyed that
only
scene.
time it happens.
It is, but there are other scenes where things are a little different, and they're immersive cutscenes in the respect that you're not just watching a movie. You're moving your character around. You're choosing what things to interact with. It's more fun than a lot of other stories present themselves in an adventure game like this. My favorite is watching vaudeville acts in the big city.
Yes,
and you get to choose when to cheer.
That's awesome.
Can you be antagonistic?
You
too?
can be antagonistic, but fuck that. It's way funnier to be happy about it. And so, you people will come on stage and they'll be setting up the punchline for "Woo! Yeah! I love it! All right,
The Arthur's voice actor is funny.
so good. The fire eater comes on stage And before she does the big thing, she's doing her little wiggle of her hips,
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
about to eat the flame. Yeah, I like it more. I like it hot. Ooh, look at her! I bet she can do. Like just trailing off into nonsense. Love it. It's so funny, and I. It's like a good 15-minute sequence watching all these different acts if you don't get up and do anything. And what I ended up doing was just for fun. I started in the back seats. I moved my character up a seat, and then I start cheering louder, and then I move up another row for the next act. By the end, I made my Arthur stand right in front of the stage and just clapping the whole time. More! Oh my god. Anyway, I had fun riding my horse around this game.
What'd you name your horse?
I chose the craziest characters from languages I don't know I could find. I could strung it together so it just reads as this impossible to read script. Whenever it shows up on the screen, it's like, would you like to mount? I always give my horse the mohawk cut.
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
And the braided tail, and then I dye it red. And so it just looks like this unhinged murder beast. Love it. One last thing to say. The hunting aspect of this game
Goofy.
is really just charging through the wilderness, finding an animal, immediately recognizing it has a perfect pelt, and then butchering it. And just, you murder it, you rip its skin off, and you put it on the back of your horse. And it's very quick and fast and insane, and you can kill a lot of animals. And you're encouraged through many mechanics and challenges to kill a lot of animals. And the game comments on this. It doesn't let you just do this. You'll get prompted in camp multiple times if you just keep doing this to sit down with one of the ladies in camp, and they're like, Arthur, it looks like you have a lot on your mind. What's going on? And you sit down, and you're like, oh, I'm just going through some stuff. And well, yeah, what's on your mind? Well, the money situation and Dutch, I don't know, and Hosea, you're naming all these characters, but I keep killing animals, and I don't know why. I don't need to, but I keep doing it. And the girl just goes, oh, Arthur, no. Well, you need to get yourself together because we need you, but that's too bad. Like that really, oh no, honey. It's just, and I think there's like 2 or 3 times that it'll trigger, and you could sit down with a different girl at camp who asks you, what's going on? I just keep killing animals. Sometimes people. Love it. It was a much needed reprieve from what was a very difficult game for me to play this month. And I think that's a good transition into...
I just wanted to say, you really have an Arthur impression on lock.
Yeah, that was actually solid.
I've been working on my voices and impressions.
Is there a jump button in Red Dead Redemption?
There is, and okay, I guess that leads me to the thing I really should have said from the beginning. The most important thing. I'm really good at killing my fucking horse.
Oh, geez.
I'm sorry. I would.
Me too. Yeah. I was so good at killing my horse.
I would constantly buy it. Like, I'll just get over this little bit of terrain. Whoa, off a cliff. I would call my thrice. This has happened. I'm off in the woods, either looting a body or skinning an animal or doing something like that. I want my horse to come get me because I want to ride it or I want to throw the skin on its back. So I call my horse, which is a mechanic you can do. 3 times I've called my horse, not looking or realizing anything that's going on, and it's walked across a railroad track just as the train. I don't know the odds of that, but 3 times in this playthrough, I have called my horse as a train was coming, and it died. And it was really funny every time, and it was worth it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of silly things that can happen in this game. You'll accidentally commit crimes in the urban town because it's really easy to accidentally go too fast on your horse, and then there's just a person run people over. I probably spent, in a game where you might make $10,000 over the course of the game, I probably spent at least $1,000 on paying off bounties in the urban city because I just keep accidentally running people over.
Well, no, it's because you keep going 50 in a 25 zone is what's really happening.
I mean, if they were named characters, I'd pay a lot more attention.
I saw a clip of a guy lassoing a civilian from the back of a train.
Yes.
As the train takes
The
off.
physics are lovely. It's so funny.
And the civilian flies.
Yes, lasso physics are also just an endless pot of gold for comedy.
I really
Yeah.
should get this game. It's
It's
been
super
on
fun.
a list
Yeah.
of games that I know that I would probably play a lot
Yeah.
of, like Grand Theft Auto 5. I just played mindlessly.
It's for
It looks like that same kind of environment for mindless enjoyment, but in the Wild West in the 1800s.
as in a sidebar, as I was saying to Max earlier, if you like games where you just explore and random shit happens, and it's a relatively unpredictable shit happens, this is a great game for that.
Yeah.
Rockstar games
Yeah,
are
yeah.
great for that. I will say I'm pretty excited for GTA 6. I am a big Grand Theft Auto fan.
I truly think it'd be so funny if that game failed.
I mean, 6.
it could happen.
It has all the
This
hype
is
in
a
the
game.
world.
This is a
Yeah, but-
games company that has not failed yet, though. Of all the games companies in the world, in the history of games companies,
Financially, all have been successful.
they have never failed.
Now, but is that because for GTA 5 and specifically GTA Online, they have unlocked an extremely predatory microtransaction marketplace?
I forgot about that. I forgot about the
that's
shark
why-
cards.
that's why-
I forgot about the
Shark
shark
bucks.
cards. Yeah.
GTA 5 is the
Online-
cash cow for that.
Right,
exclusively.
Yeah.
specifically GTA Online.
Yeah.
That is like, it makes them so much money. That's why they haven't made
So
6.
what I think is especially frustrating about that is that I feel like these would be incredibly financially successful games without that.
Yeah.
But they do have some of the biggest teams and the biggest budgets in the entire
and
industry,
the most
and that's
overworked employees because the Hauser brothers specifically are tyrannical. Like,
I mean, yeah, it doesn't take much playing the games to know what kinds of people are making them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of exploited workers.
there's a lot of that story in Red Dead Redemption 2 where I'm like,
Oh.
did they know?
They missed the plot on so many story beats.
Yeah.
Like they
But like,
I don't
Dutch
want to get
being-
into it.
Dutch
but
being like fucking Doug Hauser or whoever is just like, do they know what they're doing with the story? Where they're like, this is the guy leading the Rockstar team. Like, do they know? Did they get these?
yeah.
Like, these are the
a
fuckers.
a lot of CEOs think that they're doing work when really they're just telling people what they want, and then when it happens, they say, "Look what I made."
Look what I
Right,
did.
well,
Yeah.
They're particularly famous for like wanting, like expecting employees to work every single Saturday because
Yeah.
they just so happen might be coming in Saturday. And if they don't see anyone working, they get real pissed.
That's a gangster boss. That's that's how a loan shark operation works. That's how a gang of outlaws operates.
So that's why I just
and
think
every
it'd
company.
be funny if GTA 6, the $1 billion game, just bombs.
it'd be funny.
It would be
It'd
so
also be
funny.
neat if it was a fun game that does interesting things and says interesting things, and it could be.
I don't think any of these games
It
ever
could
said
be.
anything interesting.
Games aren't art, Uncle.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Literally,
Yeah.
Cecil Ebert
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's talk about a game that's definitely not art.
Not
Doesn't
art.
say anything about art.
Art.
Doesn't have anything to do with art.
No, because it's a video game
Yeah.
and therefore cannot be.
Yeah.
All right, so we played Ace Combat, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to the elevator pitch segment of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, but for what
Come on
game?
in.
Oh, I guess you already
Lorelei
said it.
And the laser eyes.
Yep. Laser lies in the Laura eyes.
I gotta
The
say,
podcast.
before this podcast, before this month, I did not know how to spell Lorelei.
Well, I don't think this is. You can spell Lorelei any number of ways. Language is made up.
Yeah, you can spell it badly.
No.
you can spell it well.
Lorelei.
Lorelei.
This is
That's how I
Lorelei,
spelled it.
right? You could use. You could throw an A in there if you wanted. I've seen people spell it with other letters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I bet you could do it with a Q if you really
You
wanted.
could probably put a Q in there.
So an elevator pitch.
An elevator pitch, which is a moment in the podcast where we pull out a little timer clock.
Who's
which
doing it?
I got
yeah,
the
who's
timer
doing
clock.
it? I think it's been a while since I've done one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get Faden
can't
on
remember.
a 30
Yes.
second
I can't
timer.
remember.
I
do
think
it.
you're the right one for this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the idea is that Faden is in an elevator, and they're going to pitch this game to an executive as a concept.
Yeah.
And on your mark, get set, pitch.
So what we like to hear is film noir. What if we had a film noir video game that loves puzzles? Now, these puzzles include something called numbers. Do the numbers matter? Not really. It's not a math sort of games. It's more of a logic puzzle sort of games, like kind of the Sudoku equivalent of like a numbers logic puzzle, not a formulaic sort of puzzle.
Time.
This thing called numbers. Ain't heard of it. Won't mess with it. You're not selling me on this game.
But it is about numbers.
Numbers. I don't believe in them.
Well, shit.
Lorelei and the laser eyes. There's some numbers in this game. There is distinctly and importantly not a jump button in this game.
You can jump the shark.
That's a metaphor, though. That's
Oh,
not
fuck.
jumping.
That's not jumping. Some brief information on Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. It came out in May 16th, 2024. So
new game.
a newer game for us. We sometimes do new games. We sometimes do old games. It's a weird kind of mix.
We play games.
Yeah.
We play games. By Simogo, published by the A24, and I mean that derogatory, of video games, Annapurna Interactive. Simogo made one of my favorite games, not like my absolute favorite, but a game I really like, Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is an Euro pop album game. So they've done some weird concept of games before. It's a lot of fun. Queen Latifah is the narrator of that game.
Oh.
Big style. Lots of
Yeah.
style.
Big style. It's just hey, let's make a fucking pop album.
Lorelei's got style in its own way.
Yeah.
Lots of style.
Dripping with style. Something I didn't include in my pitch.
Oh,
You know what's a really good fucking video game?
what's that?
Resident Evil.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I think the pitch for Lorelei actually really
I see what you
is-
mean now. Yeah.
It's Resident
Yeah.
Evil
Yeah.
without any combat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just Resident
is.
Evil
Yeah.
style puzzles,
Yes.
but a little bit more complex, and it's
Yes.
just only the puzzles.
Yeah.
I'd say a good amount more
Don't
complex.
worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good amount more complex.
I can't believe
but-
I did not see that connection.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the
Resident
first.
Evil for
the
sure.
Yeah.
camera angles will be the first thing that you think of as soon as you start playing the
Yeah.
game. You're like, wait a minute, this is Resident Evil.
This
It
is
was
just the
familiar.
Spencer
I just
Mansion.
couldn't put my finger on it. I
Yeah.
was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I was like, oh, right, I'm fucking doing Resident Evil, it kind of all unlocked for me, especially when you get to play the video game
Yeah.
of Lorelei and the Laser Eye, and literally the door room has the Resident Evil door animation. That
Does it
opens
really?
up.
I
Yeah.
never found a video game to play.
You never found any?
There's a bunch.
Are there?
Okay,
Wow.
so
No,
let's
I
talk about
didn't-
what this game
Now
is
I'm-
in
I
this
can't-
sense.
I'm really interested in this game.
Let's.
How did you? That's a,
How did
yeah.
everyone enjoy this game? Let's go with how did we enjoy it and how far we got. Uncle, you seem
Yeah, I want to
keyed
go
up.
first. So here's a list of things.
Uncle brought the notes.
Yeah. Well,
This
Kind-
game,
kind of.
this game requests that you please have a pen and paper
Yeah.
nearby to make the experience
I loved that.
more
Yes.
enjoyable.
I thought that was great.
things I love and hate about this game, and I'm gonna I have such a hard time talking about this game, so let me try some analogies. I'm happy like 1,000 children to see this game be played. Raindrops fall on man as well as hedgehogs, but when your horse barks, one knows you've made a mistake because the cheese is cheese, and we can still make it sing. All of these are lines you can hear in this game.
Wait, what?
Yes, they are words I have heard from at least one of the characters whose name I cannot remember. But as soon as I read them, I had to write them down. Every time I hear something from,
Is it from the weird guy?
It's one of there are.
How many weird guys are
Right, there are
There's
multiple
a few weird
personalities
guys.
of weird guy in this. It's one of them.
Okay.
I think most of these lines were over the phone.
Oh, is it the 1963 room?
Yes,
That's Renzo.
Well, some of it's Renzo. Some of this
Renzo.
is from Renzo. Some of it's from, I think, Renzo, but not from the 1963 room necessarily. It's anyway. I have
right,
lost
exactly.
the thread on a
Yeah.
million different things in this game.
Yep.
But all of these insane things I just said is how I felt playing this game so often. I didn't finish it, long story short.
How much truth did you reveal?
As of this morning, 73%.
Not bad.
I honestly, if you'd given me one more day, if I had given myself one more day,
That's the real thing.
yeah, if I had, and that's that, we're gonna talk about it. But if I had given myself one more day, I would have done it.
Yeah.
This is so hard for me to talk about, so complicated, because I loved it, I hate it, I appreciate it. I think it's really cool, really creative, really interesting. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have fun playing it. It was a list of things for me to check off, and boy, was I relieved every time I checked something off. Finally, I'm done with that. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to worry about that anymore. The puzzles were always either too easy. Like, I instantly got it, and I was like, "What is the point of this? This isn't a puzzle. I got what? Duh." And then, or I overthought it and overthought it and overthought it, and then would just bash my head against the wall at this puzzle, just trying an endless series of possible answers because I'd see a pattern that could be, and I would try that, and I'd try the next pattern, I'd try the next pattern, and then a couple times I give up, I look up the guide, and in some of those instances, I was like, okay, so I came up with patterns that were way more complicated than I needed to. The solution was way more simple than I thought it was. Or in a couple places, it still to me just seems like utterly blinkered moon logic that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Logic.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me in a couple of cases. I have read the solutions and the formulas and multiple examples because this game randomizes some elements of the puzzles, which I actually think is pretty cool.
Yep.
But I've read the ciphers. I've seen the formulas. I should be able to solve a couple of these puzzles. I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but I'm not doing the math ain't mathin'. And it was so frustrating for me to do that and then to feel like no dopamine reward while playing this game. It's a game, I think I've said this about a few games we've played. I desperately want to like this game. I really think it's cool and I should like it. And I didn't have fun playing it. And there were a few times where I entered a flow state, I would say, if that makes sense.
Total sense.
So I don't know how many hours I put into this game exactly because I kept pausing it or walking away from it and forgetting about it because it was so boring for me. And so I kept forgetting I was playing. I'm not kidding. I would get up to go get a drink of water and I would start doing something else. And I'd come back. Ooh, I left the game on. Several times that happened. So how long exactly I spent playing it, I don't know. But I would spend like an hour and make 1% of truth revealed progress. And then, not kidding, within maybe a 30 or 45 minute time span, I'd do 15, 20% of progress. And so I would just hit a flow state, just go, solved, and then head against a wall. And that was more or less my experience. We can get more specific when we talk about other specific elements, but didn't finish it. I don't really know all that much of what's happening in the story. I think I figured out most of it, but I couldn't say definitively that I know anything for sure. Anything. Maybe because I didn't finish it. But yeah, that's my experience. Uncle out.
How about you, Max?
I had an unfortunate experience playing this game as well. I also had a big issue with the understanding of like every single piece of progression is puzzle.
Yep.
And so it is a puzzle game. It is a puzzle game, but it's very much also trying to tell a story, which I didn't get to because I didn't get very far because unfortunately when I went to go replay the game a couple days ago or yesterday, I found out my Switch has dead and it is.
Oh no!
So now I gotta get a battery replacement for that and play that. I can't remember what my percentage was where I completed off. I remember seeing 36% at some point when I was playing, but also I don't know if that was before or after I lost progress because I didn't save it when I should have been saving, which is a big issue that I
Manual
have.
saves,
Yeah.
yep, no auto save.
Very Resident Evil typewriter.
Very.
Yep.
I got too many flashbacks of playing Skyrim, and you'll be playing for a 5-hour period, and then you're
without
like,
autosave.
and like, oh wait a minute, it didn't autosave, and now I'm lost 5 hours of progress. Well, I'll come back to this in 3 months instead.
Yep.
So there was periods of that, but since this was a game that was inside of a month, I tried to go back. It took me at least 2 days to go back after losing progress, but I did go back. The puzzles were enjoyable. Something that you said where it's like an hour of time goes by and you've maybe solved one puzzle, but then within a 30-minute period, after you solve one puzzle, it's like a cascading domino effect where it's just like bam, 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 bam. Oh, I know a little bit more about this interesting game. And then now it's a 2-hour block for me. And it's like, okay, I'm finding new pieces. I'm solving like door puzzles to go back and forth a little faster and easier. I do like that shortcut system where it's like optional, but
probably the hardest puzzles for me.
yeah,
were the shortcuts.
I had a lot of issues with some of those puzzles, and at times I didn't want to get too frustrated and keep playing and having fun, so I'd look up walkthroughs. That's where I found out a lot of the stuff is randomized, and which I appreciate. Could I if it wasn't randomized, I could see myself still completing the game just following a guide, and I don't think that'd be as much interesting as everything else. But I am really excited to hear more about it through you guys. Though.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Dale.
I got to, I think, about 55% truth revealed. And I love this game. I love this game. I'm not going to leave the room for spoilers or anything because I want to know more about it too. And I think that it presents itself in such a way that even if you know stuff about it, it's still going to be satisfying to go and experience it.
I would agree.
It's still going to give you that kind of the aha moments. This game has so many aha moments, and I love when a game gives you that. That's why Cocoon is one of my favorite games. Lots of satisfying aha moments in that one. Outer Wilds, so many good aha moments.
Every time you shake your head to Outer Wilds, Uncle, I want to throw things at you. I love you.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I
don't know what's wrong
There
with you
wasn't
either.
a moment of that game where I was having fun.
Oh, damn. Well,
That's
And I know that is a totally unique opinion. I don't know a single
kinda
person.
rules.
I don't know a
Yeah.
single person who's played that game or even tried that game who doesn't love it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't enjoy anything about it.
I understand why though, because like it's one of those games where everyone says it's good. I have had paralysis to even buy and play it though. Even though everyone's told me it's good, I'm like, okay, but it looks like I might have issues.
Don't know
playing
that
it.
you would like it, man.
That's where I'm thinking
So-
too.
I don't know.
based off that reaction to it, but
I mean, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute
Top 10.
all-timers.
isn't it made by the? Isn't it from the same?
it's from A24.
yeah.
No, it's not from H1. It's
produced
developed
by-
by Outer Loop.
That's yes.
Yeah.
Or no,
Or-
Mobius.
But who is it distributed
Sorry,
by?
Mobius
Or-
Digital.
Mobius
But the publisher is
publisher.
A24
Yes.
parentheses derogatory.
I thought
love
so.
his movies.
Oh, that fucking rich guy. He sucks.
So anyway, Lorelei, back to the laser eyes at hand. It is so stylish. This is a game, like you said, film noir comes up. The music in this game. Oh, the music. Oh my god. The music.
I love. Yeah, I really like a lot of it.
The music was
It is
so
pretty good.
It's so,
I think there's
this
something
is like-
wrong with my headphones because
Oh.
I was.
It's very quiet.
Did you turn on any
you
of the
don't have your
jukeboxes?
music up.
Yeah, I turned them all
Or
on.
yeah.
Phonographs.
Phonographs. Yeah.
Jukeboxes?
Hey, they play
that paints a
records.
way different picture
Baby,
in this,
records.
in this old German hotel.
I'd
Here's
recommend-
the jukeboxes.
I play on Spotify in every room.
Yeah. I would recommend to go to YouTube or wherever and listen to some of the songs that
so
they have on there.
beautiful.
They are pretty
Yeah.
good. I was listening to them on the way here actually.
I love the Audrey Horn like dance interrogation song.
Yes.
Of fucking Twin Peaks ass.
Yes.
vibe.
Okay, yeah.
There's a
I remember
lot
that.
of Twin Peaks energy in this. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
there
like
is.
X-Files, supernatural, paranormal. This game is so stylish and right up my alley. It's the right kind of weird. It is the perfect kind of weird. And I had a lot of fun playing it, and I will continue to have a lot of fun playing it. But it, like Uncle said, it's kind of one of those games where you find walls, and those walls can be demoralizing. They can make you feel really mentally drained.
They made me felt mentally ill.
The game guide that I found didn't even give outright answers, which
There's no point.
I kind of like, and like we said
Yeah.
with the
For most of
randomization,
them, yeah.
there's no point anyway.
Yeah, each answer is going to be one of three things: 1847, 1963,
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
That's kind of true. That's kind of very true. But overall, I think this is an experience worth taking. It's what is it? Clock ends probably maybe 30 hours if you really
20 to
dedicate yourself
30,
to it.
yeah.
20 to 30 hours. So I didn't finish it, but I do intend to go back and finish this one. Now, Faden,
I finished it.
of course.
98% of the
Faden
truth
finished
revealed.
it in about 12 hours.
No, it took me the full probably like 20-ish hours. I just had two. I had an open Saturday and an open Sunday last week,
Yeah.
and that's all I did for like 10 hours each day.
I got to like 72, 73% truth revealed, and I played it in 3 sessions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe a 4th session would have done it for me.
I think I only did about 3 or 4 sessions, too.
I just
Yeah.
obsessively played it because I was so stuck with playing Fate Stay Night, and it was like 1 week to go for the game club, and I said I should probably play the game club game.
Yeah, I think I'd have a much more interesting time with this game if I played it over a year period, because a lot
Oh
of
no,
those
that's
break-
too long.
For me, just so I can take a step back,
Think
because
about it.
otherwise, and in
Yeah.
this kind of format, I'll kind of get aggravated that I'm like, I lost content, I got lost gameplay, but now I have to go back to get more progression. I think if I had more waiting period to be like, okay, I'll go back. I forgot about that pain that I had when I lost that gameplay.
So this is the perfect Steam Deck game. It's something I will say.
It was a great Switch game.
Yeah, the input, the game controls, like
Yeah.
the physical input of the game is enter, like I played on mouse and keyboard, or I should say just keyboard.
Yeah.
Because you have one button to interact with things, and then directional.
You can play this game one-handed.
Yeah.
You can
I
play this game
love
one-handed.
that.
I
I-
love jerking off while playing games.
Yes!
This really worked out.
Finally! God! Yeah, no.
Yeah, especially to
No.
this one.
I would have liked one more button just because I always had a pain navigating the menus.
Yes.
And it's like you had to go all the way back to go to the exit. Instead, if I could just press B. That me to Mac, please.
A mouse in the menu would have been nice.
Yeah.
This game felt very Game Boy-like.
But it's
Yeah.
very
And
accessible.
hey,
And you also
go
get a
on,
Game Boy.
Get a Game Boy.
Get a Game Boy of, I believe Split was one of their games that they made too.
Oh yeah.
They made that. They made it for the Apple Arcade where you like are splitting boxes and stuff. That's one of Simogo's games.
No kidding.
Yep. Yeah. So I really enjoy puzzle games. That's, I have I don't know, probably like 20-ish pages of notes. That again, it's a journal, so it's definitely one of those. You pull the journal off the shelf, and there's the crazy just Uncle and I.
I
comparing
wish
our
we could
notes.
show you
I should've brought my
because I
notes,
think
too.
the visually looking at our notes would also help you understand why we had different experiences.
There's-
Because like Faden has pages with specific topics, and
Yep.
like this is for this puzzle, this is for this puzzle, and if you were to look at what I've written, you'd think that somebody had just actually had a full-blown schizophrenic episode. There's no way to look at this without interpreting it that way unless you knew it was from me when I was playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
It looks
like it's,
Yeah, it looks like you're maybe in a little bit of a mental distress situation. I have written pages like that in mental duress like that before.
It
Me
looks,
too.
It looks
Yes.
like you found the master plans of some evil person in a video game
Whoa.
that they'll never make any sense. It's just like an equation here, moon cycles
Yeah.
here, Roman numerals over here, and that was very similar to the notes that I took. I had like 2
Yeah.
pages, and I had
It's on the back of medical information I got from my doctors too. I didn't have a journal, so I just wrote it on the back of a doctor's.
That's perfect.
I don't know what this means.
Why I should quit smoking. That's actually what it was.
Hell yeah. I don't know what this means, but I have 1 TV equal hat and cards equal 0. Whatever that means.
Oh, that's a O. That's probably because the hat and cards clue from the TV that you saw in the flashback.
All right.
This game's really good.
very
friends.
connecty with
Yes,
everything.
there's a sort of it's a puzzle box game.
Yeah.
Oh, Faden, before we lose the topic of notes, could you upload scans of the notes to the Cross Flash Network website?
I can try to. Yeah, I'll try to do that.
That'd be
I'll-
cool.
I'll post some of my notes.
I'll get some PDFs of mine.
Yeah, I the thing about this game is because the character of Lorelei Weiss, she is or Vice, I guess.
Vice.
She's very German / Okay, first of all, I love that this is in like Bavaria area.
1963, 1964 is when it takes place.
Okay,
2014.
It takes place in
all of them,
2014.
right?
1894,
Isn't it all of them?
So
1870.
here's the thing I don't think that works about the game, is what I'll say. This is a story about dementia.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like, it doesn't say anything interesting. This is a woman who's having a hard time differentiating between reality and a script for a movie called The Third Eye.
I did.
It's not necessarily making a
Yep.
statement about dementia, but it's interesting in that it is showing you, it is giving you an experience of dementia.
Right.
Which is also, I picked up on that. I didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
When you meet the old lady and
When
I
you
mean,
meet-
when you think about it for
your old self.
when you think about it for 3 seconds,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, because you get the medical report that says,
Yes.
talk to her about things that she remembers,
Yes.
like the verbal cues. And so when you solve the puzzle boxes, you get a word in each of those that will give you a different visual message, which gives you the memory code to unlock the supercomputer. But yeah, this is about dementia.
So for someone like me with actual, real, serious short-term memory problems, this was like torture.
This game's hell.
So that literally, I wrote that down, and not in my notes, but in other places. 'Cause I had a separate like notes that I was taking out about other things that I was writing about this game. Sometimes I kept just coming back to that. Like, this is if and when I die and go to hell, this is what
You're going to the Red Maze.
This is what's gonna be for me. It's just
room.
gonna be there's gonna be no one there. No person to interact with outside of a guy who speaks randomly, gives you a puzzle.
I'm sorry that's going to be me.
It's gonna be you. Hell is gonna be me and you giving me puzzles and me not being able to solve them
Yeah.
forever. That's
Wow.
And then you relive the last 2 hours.
and I
that you
keep
just
forgetting
did.
which
Go back to
puzzles
the
I've done and which ones I haven't.
Yep.
And I'll find a cipher, but I can't remember which puzzle it goes
At
to.
least there's a cute black Labrador for you to pet.
Yeah.
Rudy!
Which
You
reminds
can
me
pet
of
the
my
dog.
my other favorite quote from this game is that Labradors do not. My favorite thing about Labradors is that they do not respect financial institutions.
Yep.
Marvelous.
There's some
good.
really cute writing in this
Yeah.
game.
Good anti-capitalist stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not super political. The story's
No.
not super prominent. It's really, you have 150 puzzles in this hotel.
Yep.
Solve the puzzles. Find the connections, and you truly can solve. Every single puzzle solution is a logic thing.
Yes.
It is. You're not. As soon as you start making complex mathematical equations, you fucked up.
And one of the first rooms you enter is a library where it gives you a handbook that says, here's all the information you will need to solve all of the puzzles in this game.
Yep.
Here's all the astrological symbols. Here's how to do Roman numerals. Here's how
A strabogam
yeah.
or whatever. The reflection.
Strobo.
Yeah.
Strogo.
I hated those.
I hate
yeah.
here's how the moon phases work, like, or something like you get that
Yeah,
later.
you get that
Yeah.
later. But you find documents throughout the game
Yeah. It's like-
that tells you how to solve a puzzle somewhere.
Yes.
And you can recollect all of them at any point. So you
Yes.
so it's
photographic
not.
memory is a great component. We
It's
haven't even
so
talked about
good.
that yet.
Yeah, her photographic memory just being able to be like, because then you don't have to walk all the way back to then relook at the right book and hope it's the right book with the right information. If that was the case, I would not be playing this game at all.
Okay, RE photographic memory. Were the architect puzzles stored anywhere in the photographic memory? Because I didn't find them.
Yeah, the architect section in notes.
Yeah.
Architect's notes. You know those
Okay.
detailed diagrams that you find on a diagram table.
It's not in the
Yeah.
It
document
looks
page.
like a book. It looks like a document.
That's what I thought it was.
I
in
thought
documents
it was a
every
book
time.
or a document or
Okay,
something.
okay.
I literally, to find it, I went one by one, every single thing, looked at every
Whoa.
single
There's
picture
a lot.
until I found
Yeah.
it.
Yep. Architects
Because I couldn't.
sketches.
I never would have guessed it's in notes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just solved all of those at the table and like wrote down the last name, wrote down the answer.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Should we? How do we want to
How
talk?
do we approach?
How
the-
do you
the
talk
discussion?
about
First of all, I want to talk about its colors.
Who
It's
listened to the car radio?
I did.
Yep.
Yeah, I
It's
spent a
great.
lot of time listening to that car radio. That
Car
was a
radio, good.
Good car radio.
I got 10 seconds of it, but then I was like, I get it now.
I can't believe it took me forever to do the things you always need to do in video games and go the wrong direction.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know.
You go the wrong direction the first thing from the first get-go.
I know, and I didn't do it this game. So I, for the longest time, didn't find the national forest information that you can get.
Oh. Oh.
and have the little map of the area.
I think you
Yeah.
need some of that information for the mirror maze, right?
Yes, you do
Yeah.
for the red maze.
Yeah, the red maze, yeah.
Who loves mazes? I love mazes.
I like
felt-
mazes that have map pieces in them, and then when you take the map piece out of the maze, the visuals,
where the maze
So
splits
for
like a
someone
mirror.
with spatial
Yeah.
reasoning
Man,
problems,
that was hard.
boy, was that hard. So if you've ever had like one of those things, like if you maybe in a basic psychology class where you put on those
Yep.
goggles, and it,
or look at the mirror thing.
or you look like a mirrored set goggle thing, or it's some kind of device with mirrors that changes your perspective. So you feel like you're looking straight at something, but what is being presented to your eyes is from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you just have to figure that out. And it's so hard to explain, friends, but look it up. Look up the mirror maze.
Yeah, I can't remember
in
what
Lorelei and the
the-
Laser Eyes, and you'll get a visual cue for what we're trying to describe.
Yeah.
Right, so like
For some
the-
people, it's probably really satisfying. For me, it was just
So it kind of looks
painful.
It looks like a shattered mirror where they also switched up the pieces, so you'll
Yeah.
be going right, and then your character will appear in the top left. But it's still the same map collision, so you shouldn't. So you should try to go as if you know what the maze is. And I thought for the longest time that the games you can buy and get delivered, the GB like the Game Boy games that you can get for your little
Yeah,
Game Boy
yeah,
systems,
yeah.
I thought those had puzzle hints, and they do. So I played the Lorelei game a lot, which
the maze.
the maze game, which is good practice to figuring out how to navigate that maze because it's the exact same maze design.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I played
There's
a lot
also
of
the
that.
map of the red maze that you can get.
Right, but I played a lot of that to the point where, I remember this like intersection of turns when I was going through the different mazes. So I just kind of had that
Nice.
map in my head.
Muscle memory.
It
Yes.
plays like Pac-Man.
It plays
And
like Pac-Man.
I really don't like Pac-Man. I knew I was like, this is this.
Yeah.
I when I first loaded it up, I was like, oh, this is the maze. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
But I don't like Pac-Man.
I don't like Pac-Man either. I just
Yeah.
thought I would learn a clue
Yeah.
if I beat the game, which you can't because they're arcade games.
Yeah.
Aha.
So I was playing a lot of that one. And that's
Just high score.
yeah, I was just getting high scores and learning the map, and also learning that you need to get the 9 things in each quadrant or each like section of the maze to unlock the center of the maze, which was neat.
And you need bug reports.
Oh my god, bug reports.
That's
Those-
actually one of the cooler elements of the game.
yeah.
I
Do you
think.
want describe bug reports?
Yeah, so bug reports, there are puzzles here and there. There's a typewriter that
Yeah.
you can find in a room, and there'll be some kind of visual cue, a poster usually nearby, or an item.
diorama.
A diorama you
group
can
of
interact
busts.
with. Yep.
A group of busts. Yep.
And it will give you a clue as to what to type into this typewriter, and that will give you a bug report for a video game you can find in a different room, and there are 3 different video games.
Well, same video game, 3 different levels.
Yes. And this allows you to
Crash the game.
crash a game inside your game that
Right.
plays like a PlayStation 1 game, feels even more like Resident
It
Evil.
has tank controls.
Yes.
It has tank controls, and I
And
flipped
so
out, and
you
I
can
love
walk backwards the
that.
whole time, which was my favorite part, just making Lorelei walk backwards everywhere.
amazing.
I did it just because I could. And
Yep.
in a couple cases, you kind of have to. Because
Yep.
your goal is to find ways to break this game, and the bug reports through these typewriter guides tell you how to break the game.
They give you an alphanumeric code to a Greek symbol.
Yeah, that matches which is a cipher for the center
for the
of
red
the
maze.
Yes.
For the mirror maze.
Mirror maze, yes.
Not the quiz maze.
Everything is so crazily, weirdly connected.
Yes.
There are
excited
spirals
to
of
just go
solutions.
finish this game.
And that's why I'm
This
saying
is cool.
it's impressive. It's cool. I love so much about it. I didn't have fun. I didn't have fun.
I truly I love how I love how connected it is. It is the very puzzle boxy aspect.
Yeah.
I love the puzzle boxes. Figuring out, I have to find the numeric code of like a certain year for each puzzle box was really cool.
You have to get to explore an interactive art exhibit for
Yes.
each like
Yeah.
that. I gotta say, I really like that. I'm walking through an art museum.
Yeah.
Clicking little buttons on
yeah.
boxes.
I think that's
I
neat.
did appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
I really enjoy art stuff like that, and that's what I got most enjoyment out of the games because puzzles can be hit or miss. If I'm winning, I'm happy. If I'm losing, I'm not happy. But just like looking around, I really enjoyed just looking at the game, black and white, and then splashes of red.
I love the splashes of red. I love how it's either paint or blood.
Yeah.
And it very specifically can be paint.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times blood.
Yeah.
Do we have a favorite art exhibit? I like that. So to describe these art exhibits, they're very
I didn't get into all the year doors.
right. They're very
Maybe two I
sculpture
didn't get
based
in.
and visual, like framing based. So it's a lot to do with like video cameras and like the perspective that we look at things, which is the entire puzzle based
They're all
system. It's what
accompanied
perspective
by-
you're looking at
They're all
it.
accompanied by really annoying, like what is it called? The placards that you get next to a piece of art that talks about what the art's about.
And it's the most vague.
It's the most
hinty
vague
thing
hint.
ever.
Yeah, it's that perfect level of like overly grandiose interpretation of something that is ultimately very simple.
Right.
Um,
And so intentional because they want you to think about this puzzle. So here's this vague placard describing the exhibit.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of statues of very simply like fonted numbers. It's just a bunch
Right.
of numbers in a room with some squares behind them, and it's like this piece invites you to think about size and how
Every size has a pair.
Yeah, every size has a pair.
That was the one I couldn't figure out.
Oh, that one,
The
yeah,
square one.
I was super close. Because I was lining things up the way I was supposed to. I wasn't, but then I was zooming out and trying to show. Yeah,
Yep, same.
Yeah, I wasn't. I think that's one of those examples. It was simpler than I was making it.
Yep.
I was trying to. I was like, maybe this number is this much in the square. This one's this much in the square. So maybe it's this number minus this number. Like I was coming up with the most elaborate mathematical equations,
Yep.
which there is almost never a mathematical
Not
solution.
almost never. There
and,
isn't.
And
There's one that stood
there's
out
a
to
couple.
me.
The
Yeah.
very first, the very very first shortcut door at the very front gate requires you to multiply things by 2.
But that's easy.
That's still math, though.
One of the
Faden.
puzzles I would cite as never would have figured out without a guide. Never would I have thought to do that. Here's the problem. I did that. I found that it was the first thing I looked up in the game, and I looked up maybe 2 or 3 other things after that. It poisoned everything for me because I was then convinced there was a mathematical solution to multiple. There must be other. Okay, adding things, subtracting things, multiplying things must be possible. And so I kept fucking doing that. And that's never a solution to any of the other problems. It's the only one.
It is
Pattern
sneaky, though,
recognition.
because they do add a calculator to the game. You're like, well,
Yes!
they're adding a calculator. There's
Yes!
got to be a lot of algebra and math in this game.
And math is what gives me the most anxiety. And so I was like, oh, of course, it's a fucking math game. And so I kept expecting it to be that. And guess what? It never was.
No, it's a
So
reading comprehension game.
as always, I was making it worse for myself. The problem was me.
I think that's that feels very intentional with this game, where they want you to think it's that complicated.
Yeah.
And then they slowly give you hints and signs that no, it's really not.
Yeah.
Please. The one that's most like that is the piano for me.
Yes!
Yep.
I that was another one I needed a guide for.
The day I did the piano problem, Faden had sent me a text, hey, have you solved the piano? And I said, no, I haven't got that far yet. Why? And Faden goes, well, I thought it was about reading music, and I thought it was about this, and so I went, okay, well. And then that night I got to the piano problem, and I looked at the keyboard, and I looked at the sheet music, and I went, oh.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know anything about reading sheet music. I know the vaguest thing, and this is what I think fucks me up. So I thought, oh, are the letters actually where the keys are? Well, I know where middle C's at. I bet if I look at where middle C's at and try to like count the lines of where the notes are at, and they might correspond.
I figured
with
out
different
pretty early
years.
it wasn't actually going to be musical because there's no book in the library that says anything about
music.
basic
Which
music
is-
theory.
Because I had orchestra for all 4 years of high school, so it was like, oh yeah, why is it not? This is not the solution. Why give me this? But then that was what cued me in. And they're like, I haven't had a book on how to read sheet music.
Right. That should have cued me off. But no,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, so how do I represent rest? How do I do? How do I?
That fucked me up
Zero,
too.
there's
Zero
zero.
should have been obvious, and I
Yes.
just I missed it.
Oh,
I missed it.
oh, you have to hit the 0 on
Yeah.
the 2014 key.
Yeah.
Duh.
And I swear to God, before I looked up the solution, I had thought to myself, "Oh, the rest must be 0," but there's no 0 here.
there's no zero.
I don't know how I missed the 0 in the 2014, but I swear to God, I thought that. I was like, "Oh, the rest must be 0. There's no notes," and I didn't. I didn't see the key. I worked myself up so much.
I will say
I couldn't even see.
I entered in the sequence what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I hit the blank key in between 1963 and 2013. And I was like, that didn't work. Oh, there's a 0. Oh, okay.
So I thought I had to also find 1847. So I was counting the keys, and are they trying to make me do a scale thing? And
I
there's
was
actually
doing that
another
too.
4 set of keys.
I was doing that.
And no, it's not. Stop overthinking this.
Most of this game is you thinking it. Here's how I find the solution, and then the real solution is finding out that your tools you're using to find the solution isn't the way. It's actually a lot easier if you just. It's finding out what tool to use for the solution.
Yeah,
and that's the
yeah.
hardest
Finding
part.
the cipher.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
big box, and you got to find out what tool to use.
And also, I think something that once this clicked for me, a lot of the puzzles were instantly solved. It was like, oh, there's only 4 digits here. There's only it
Yeah.
has to be this.
Yep.
Oh, there's only 3 digits here. Oh, it has to be this. There's only 2 digits here. It must be.
Especially for the Roman numerals. You don't
Yes.
actually have to know how to count any Roman numeral in the game.
You just have to know.
Yes, you
the
recognize
three.
how
Right, the
which
three
of
different-
which of the 3 specific Roman numeral combinations you're looking for.
Right, because then the password is that long. Oh, this is the 7.
Yep.
So I need the
Here's the one that's
1963.
five.
I probably
Yeah, right,
discovered
yeah.
6% of truth in 2 minutes when that clicked for
Oh,
me.
seriously.
Yeah.
Did anyone have since I finished a lot of it, did anyone have a puzzle they're like, what is the answer to this? Or what's the solution? Or what was going on with this puzzle?
I kind of want to finish the game.
Oh,
so
shit.
and honestly, the puzzles that I encountered that made me that frustrated, I just fucking looked it up and I was fucking where? Whatever. What is it? That's fucking stupid. And then usually, what I would have. Yeah.
The only question I have, I already asked you. The
Orangery.
The orangery.
Which, it's so funny. I was listening to a podcast.
That's the one with like a zillion buttons, isn't
It's
it? Or
16 buttons.
yeah.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to input 16
When I
buttons,
figured out
and
the
it's
solution,
got a
I felt
number
so
pad,
smart.
and there's 1847
Right.
painted on tiles outside of the orangerium. And
Orangery.
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 Oranges.
Orangery.
Orangeosity.
It's just an orangery.
Orangery. And the numbers outside the orangeosity are very clearly painted in like, there's a big blotch of paint, and then it's kind of like a brush stroke sort of thing. And so I'm like, okay, I know that I have to mimic on the number pad. Okay, here's the 1, here's the A, but I can't figure out the combination of clicks that's like represented on the stones outside.
Right. So the
Which
stones are the
16
exact
buttons do I have to push?
like keypad size.
Right.
They have the same like like the 1 is like it starts from 2 and it goes to 0. So you do 2 and 0. That's the first 2 digits.
Not 2, 5,
no,
7.
not that. You don't count you count start points and stop points. That's it.
But that would only get you 2, 4, 6, 8.
No, it
inputs.
wouldn't, because 8 has multiple stop points. 8 has 1, 2, 3. Right? Yeah. So 8 has like because they're
Yeah,
straight
I
lines.
never-
They're all straight lines.
There's no book clue that says you got to count start points and stop points.
No, there isn't, but it is something you can figure out when you're like, oh, this is a keypad. I think I have a. It's
Yeah, what's your note on that one?
what's my note on that one?
I think I saw it. A couple of pages. One more. Other way. That right there, maybe?
No, this is a final solution puzzle.
Oh, I see.
Where I had to do a
recognize the
mirror
shapes. Yep. For a
the
supercomputer
The
key.
supercomputer. Yeah, one. Okay, so figuring out the supercomputer, super cool puzzle.
That
Is
was
that like
interesting
the
to
you
me.
beat
That
the
was
game
really
moment?
interesting to me. I really wanted to find more of that. I
It-
figured out the runes, obviously.
Yeah,
that's an
figuring
easy
out the
one,
runes was
but-
good. I love figuring out the like video game like stuff to some creepy stuff going on slightly. I always
There's
felt a
some
little
weird,
on
like,
edge.
culty kind of, some cult
Yeah.
stuff's going on here.
Yep, the third eye cult.
Yeah.
I like the puzzle interrogators that chase after you.
Oh, with
Maze
the QR
faces?
code? Maze face.
maze
yeah.
faces. Yes.
That's what I'm going to call them. I don't know.
No,
if
they're
supposed to-
no
Yeah.
maze faces. Yeah.
The bad guys that kill you.
Let's talk about the maze face and interrogation. Because
Yes.
Uncle, you were right before we started recording. You were saying some fun stuff about like expectations for interrogation.
Oh yeah, so this I think another great anecdote and example of why I made this game so much harder for myself than it needed to be. In every case, you enter these rooms on occasion where Maze Face comes, grabs you. You're in an interrogation room, and he shows you a scene, a 3D scene. It's like a still shot, 3D space.
It's Return
that-
to the Obra Dinn coded.
if you've played that, and you can walk around this freeze frame of something happening in a room, and it's usually you and Renzo, or
Yes, it's
Yes.
usually Lorelei and Renzo. Yep.
Renzo, yes, in a room, designing the maze, designing the game,
Yep.
making the plans for the thing,
Making the art exhibit.
making the art exhibit that this is,
The
yes.
supercomputer art exhibit where it's the first to do graphic like fractal art or something.
very special.
Very special.
Using triangles instead of polygons.
yes.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And you have to remember what this scene is. It's like one of those pictures where it's like, okay, you get 30 seconds to look at this picture.
the image, then
and
we'll ask you
now,
questions.
Yeah, what hand was the gorilla holding a banana in? You know, it's like something like that.
Or how many chess pieces were on the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you fail, if you don't know the answer, it gives you a multiple choice option, like 8 options or something like that to pick between. If you fail, you die. You got to go
Yep,
back to
you get shot.
your last manual save.
Game over.
Last manual save.
And if you win, you're rewarded with a script of what was happening in that scene.
Yep.
Which reveals part of the story, kind of. And then once you get them all, you get to meet a skeleton.
What?
Yeah. Once you get all the script pages, you get to meet a skeleton.
Oh, you get. I thought you said you get to be a
No,
skeleton.
you get to meet a
I was
skeleton.
like, I'm sorry. Wait.
Yeah, no.
You get to meet Renzo.
Yeah. But yeah, so the long
Gives you an
all
eye.
of that is to say, what was my problem with this? I'm assuming that okay, it's going to make me remember the exact number of lamps in this room, or like how many, or which candle on the rotation of the chandelier was the shortest, because
Right.
one of them is shorter.
Yep.
How many of the mugs were tipped over? How many were standing? What if you like? What do the letters on the blocks that are on the ground spell out? Like stuff like that, like really complicated. And so I was writing out these elaborate notes before I would hit, yes, I am ready to.
Yep, same here.
I was like huge diagrams of the scene from multiple perspectives. And the answer would be like, what item was under the hat? Where
was the horse?
Yeah, where was the horse? What was the picture on the cross? Like it's
Now, to be fair, I did have one that was like, how many blocks were on the ground? And if you didn't count right, you would miss a block that's hidden
in a
closet.
room. Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was stuff like that. Almost always for me, it
was
wasn't.
not.
It
Yeah,
was
same.
the simplest, easiest thing. I spent 15 minutes. That's an exaggeration. I spent 5-10 minutes writing out this diagram, and it was the easiest, most obvious thing. It was the first thing I noticed, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
First puzzle, or the first interrogation that I got was something like how many forks were on the ground or something like that. So I started doing the same thing, like, okay, analyze this. And then I started getting ones where I noticed, there's a very, like, you gotta find it, but then, there's a revolver in this urn randomly.
Usually a hidden
Okay,
item.
Yeah,
that's-
it's usually a hidden item.
That's probably what the question's gonna be. I think I'm ready now. What was the item in the urn?
Yeah.
This.
But that's only if you luck out because they're different questions each time.
Yeah, that's part of the randomization of the game.
Yep. Which I do like. I do like that.
Yeah, me too.
What puzzles did I have to look up? I had to look up the square one because I just couldn't get the
The
square.
rotating square? Or
Not the rotating square, but
God,
the
fuck
square
that
to the
one.
number. The rotating square one, I actually almost instantly.
I still
got
don't get
that one.
it. That was one of the ones I looked up the formula to decipher. It's one of the room doors, the year doors.
Yep.
Oh,
So it's an
okay.
art exhibit
Okay,
that you're
yeah,
looking at.
You have
They're
different reels in the
different film reels that you can put into this machine and play, and each of them shows you 2 squares side by side, and there's a square inside that square that's rotating in a direction.
or not rotating at all.
I only ever got ones that were all rotating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be a changing thing
Yeah.
between.
That could be.
That
yeah.
must be
Yeah.
one of the random elements because I only got rotating ones.
Yep.
And so I guess anyway, I read 3 different guides to this puzzle, like on 3 different websites. I read the cipher, I read the formula, and in each of them there were people commenting, "This doesn't make any sense to me. Please, why is it not working for me?" And then somebody else would give them another piece of advice. "Oh, thank you." It would continue to not help me. So I spent 30, 40 minutes. I'm not kidding. 30, 40 minutes on this puzzle, just like writing out and drawing all these different diagrams, different ways I could interpret the rotation.
Right.
I don't know what it is I'm missing, but I'm not getting that puzzle box.
So, something that's really interesting about that one specifically, I just thought about. Like swiping left and swiping right on Tinder?
Yes.
So when somebody says swipe left, I always do it backwards.
So you'd go
So you're
from
starting
left,
from the
going
left
right.
side
Right, because
and
when I think
swiping.
you're swiping left, you're swiping
from
left.
the left as
And then
opposed to
swiping
swiping
from-
to the left.
And
Yeah.
I think
That's part of this problem, yes.
And I think maybe me thinking like that made me get the right directions because the box flipping thing.
Yeah.
It's for the like the. I don't know what to call it, D-pad. The D-pad puzzle box where
Yeah.
it's like has the 4 directions and a middle button.
Yeah, it looks like 2 D-pads side by side.
Right.
That's what the box looks like.
And so like that's how I think that's why I figured it out because my brain always has it from the left and from the right, and I think if you get that,
Yeah, that's.
It's like
I think
from
that
where
is- I
it's
think that is
starting
the
and then
opposite of how I was
going
thinking
the opposite
because it looked like it
direction.
was flipping
Yeah.
towards. I'm like, why would I
think
not
you- I
choose?
think you
Why
would
would
just
I not
flip.
choose what it's flipping towards? Like
Yeah.
I think it's
I'm thinking of. You're right.
It's flipping
That's
from.
it.
It's
'Cause
flipping
I
from.
was thinking, like, the water is flowing to the answer. That's how I was visually seeing
Yeah.
this flipping cube, not the water is flowing.
Have
from
you
the answer.
you two haven't experienced that film reel?
No, I
No.
didn't
Nope.
get any of the
Any of them?
the year room.
So you didn't get to the maze.
I found
the other maze.
no, I'm not to the other maze.
You didn't get to the quiz maze.
No, I
Yeah,
did
quiz
not.
maze. I like the quiz
I
maze.
love the quiz maze.
That's another place you
That's
can
the
die.
one where you have to
kind
type
of.
in the answer
Answers.
for it.
Yep.
There's
And-
not multiple choice anymore.
No, they're not multiple choice, and the guy holds the gun. And it's like,
Yep. Fill in the blank, kid.
what is it? Be timid, never pass,
Something
be
like
brave.
That. Yeah.
or perish. Mm-hmm. And you can get shot if you don't give them the right questions because they're the quiz club. That's what it's called.
Yep.
It's the quiz club.
And then moving through that space, you get the keys to those rooms.
Right. Because, well, that's only if you do the mirror maze and you remove the slabs.
Yes.
Because those break the mirrors in the quiz club. And then there's that 1847 Renee. Right, because it's French.
Yes.
Duh. Renette. So I was saying Renate.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
That's how it's spelled.
Renate.
Yeah.
Renate.
I'm pretty sure
Renee.
it's Renee.
No, you're right. It is. No, 100%.
There's only 4 characters in the game. There's Renee.
Yeah.
There's Lorelei. There's Lorenzo. And there's
Renzo.
Renzo. Yep. And
Lorenzo and
and
Renzo.
Lorenzo.
and
The dog
yeah.
Oh, and the dog.
And
There's
dog.
5 characters.
who does not respect financial institutions.
or really does anything. I mean, like the dog is.
He hands you a letter.
I do.
He lets you in.
I do like the pet the dog animation on this one. You get like a nice like zoom up of the dog,
Yeah.
enjoying itself. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of neat.
Red Dead Redemption also has pretty good pet the dog mechanics.
And cat.
Yeah.
He loves the cats in that game.
Yeah.
I think he's more of a cat guy than a dog guy.
I think so too. Sorry.
No, dude, I jumped on that. I really love Renzo in this game. The mysterious guy that's
The
in
fucked up
so many
eccentric?
such yeah.
The one who says all those crazy things that I
Yeah,
said at
yeah.
the beginning of
Yeah.
the yeah.
the film director who was mentally unstable for sure.
Dude loves eyes. Dude has this big
Yeah.
eyes.
Acid in the eyes. The Vermilion Tears, that reading that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
That's a wild scene.
Do you want to know what's going on with his eyes?
Yeah.
I do.
He cut him out.
Yeah.
I kind of saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cut him out, and Lorelei pushed him out the window when
Yep.
he was being charged by her, or he was charging her. Yep, and that's her big secret.
Yep.
Which I don't think matters to the game at all. It really doesn't change anything.
So why,
I was pretty sure that's what it was. So
Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Yeah.
why do
Okay.
we see Renee outside the window? Why is Renee's box?
Because Lorelei is writing a script, kind of working through this. because
Yeah.
all the Renee and
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
You can read a few things that just flips the characters a few times.
Yep.
Where
Yep.
it's like, oh, it was you, or you killed me, I killed you.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like a kind of therapeutic, like working through the trauma of manslaughter.
Manslaughter of the no-eyed guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a sequel to this game.
Manslaughter of the no-eyed guy.
It must be the mouse that finds fresh carrots in the moldy cheese.
Yep. Yep. Fucking those.
So
Yeah, it's
profound.
He says some crazy things.
And this is you asking him for advice.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, well, this doesn't help. Thank you,
My
guys.
log will speak when it is ready.
Right, basically, yeah. I'm trying to think of any other. Oh, so fucking, I had an issue with the safe puzzle, with the square one, where you had to determine like how many squares are in each shape.
Oh, you had to
I can't
count.
picture it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whether
those.
it was pixels.
Those were some of the ones that I got
Counting pixels.
instantly.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, I got those instantly, but of all the ones I got instantly, I was like, wow, I can't believe I guessed that. I was like
There was a few quiz ones where it's
I
like,
think it's because I play a lot of Blockus.
Oh.
And I think, I've played a lot of Blockus. Yeah.
one of the quiz ones, like, what issue did they say that yada yada happened? And I didn't get any of the suit doors open yet because I didn't figure out the piano puzzle. I didn't figure that out until I was at 75% in the game. The piano puzzle was one of the last things I figured out, which unlocked the end game.
That
for
was
me.
70% for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, is when I got the piano. And I was starting, I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
But
and that's when I had to come here to
One of the quizzes like, what issue was this information in? And I was like, I don't fucking know. 4? Correct.
Whoa.
I'm like, yeah, it was
Nice.
4. Just
Nice.
I just like bullshit some of them. It's like, fucking, how many minutes after midnight did this man arrive at the hotel? I don't know, fucking 15, a quarter after midnight. Why not? And it's like, correct.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And these are also guys that if you say the wrong thing, they kill you. You have to go back to the last save.
Did you ever get the one that was like, what date did you arrive here or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they say arrive Monday, January 7th.
Yeah, or July 7th, or cause I'm pretty sure that's the one I had was July 7th.
Maybe it changes up.
I think
had
it
January.
might because it was like
I
July
had
7th,
January.
1863 or something like that. I can't remember what the date was,
2014.
but I was putting out the whole date, and it just wanted 7.
Well, it's 2014 was when you arrived.
Maybe.
Because it's 2014 when she arrives into the institution, the hospice.
Oh.
Because you're dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With how specific a lot of this game is at times,
Yeah.
I think it was really confusing when I had is like, what date did you arrive?
Yes.
I
whole
like,
date.
here's the whole date.
Yep.
Bam, I'm dead.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually, we wanted the number.
we just
7.
wanted the number 7.
I think I got it right, but I was second guessing. I was like, do they want January? Do they want
Yeah.
do they want the year?
I
Do they want the
literally
year?
did 0107.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? No, you're right. Just a simple thing.
Yeah.
I love finding the minotaurs of both mazes.
Didn't.
Minotaurs.
Yeah, if there's a maze, there's always a minotaur.
True.
That's just true.
That's
name
one I didn't do.
Name a single maze that there isn't a minotaur in.
I liked the crystal ball maze. That was getting the directions to that and
yes.
then navigating that
The fortune
blindly was.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of.
yeah.
I don't know. That was kind
No, that one's neat. And then you get the paintings that you have to like
Yeah.
move around in the room in to like get the right
blindly.
direction.
Yeah.
This game is full of really fun, interesting puzzles where they're all different.
Shifts in perspective.
A lot of different things. And it is constantly asking you what perspective should you look at this to find the answer. And
The
What a
hidden
blast.
cost one was that.
Did you get the hidden cost?
I got the hidden cost.
Okay.
I have
Remind me which.
the architect plan. It's like find the hidden cost,
Yeah.
and you find the number by
Very
turning.
weird looking floor plan. It's like
Oh yeah, it was like
rectangular,
714.
like 7
Yeah.
and 4,
I
because
knew-
the
I kn-
walls were the number.
I knew that
Yeah.
that's what I was looking for. It took me forever to see the lines.
here.
I knew
Well,
that's
not
what I was
same here.
looking for. It took me for. I was like, okay, so the shape of these rooms or shapes in these rooms are going to be numbers, and I'm looking for 3 numbers, and I oh my God, it took me forever to see the walls.
I will say that working in
Just
my real life job is like looking at floor plans.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is gonna put a door there? What is
well,
that?
the thing that got me was the bathroom sink. I'm like, the plumbing's fucked up on this. None of these can be on the same plumbing line because the sink's on the other end of the room as the bathtub. And so I'm like, the hidden cost is this. And it's like, no. So I was like, I don't know, 1 because there's one hidden cost item.
The,
And it's like,
the
nope.
compass rose is what really.
Yes.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, so I'm just literally looking for.
But I
numbers.
literally turned my Steam Deck to make it orient it right, and I still couldn't see it.
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah.
okay, is it because the sink's in the north-facing wall, and that's where the exterior is, and thus it might have... And, like, I kept thinking of that in construction terms, and it fucked me up.
I'm glad there was no one else in my house when I discovered the numbers because I screamed. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, because it took me so long. I was like, yeah, it was like one of those pictures, one of those hidden pictures where you stare at it forever, and the magic eye pictures. That's what they're called.
Stereograms.
Stereograms.
Yep.
I love stereograms.
One of them
So good.
stereogrammers. Yeah.
I go on live on...
Stereogram influencer.
God, this game also is like fucking number fetishists are gonna love this game.
Yes.
Because there's all the weird number terms.
Number
there's
sluts.
all the number sluts.
Clock
all the-
sluts will like this one.
I was trying to figure out when 6009 would come in because that was one of the reflective numbers.
I also I tried that one a few times on a few
Right.
brute force attempts. That never really
work.
appeared. Yeah.
Did you ever brute force a shortcut?
I tried.
Nope.
And then I was like, ugh, there's
Nope.
too many numbers. I'm not going to brute
Well,
force this.
wait, one I kind of did because it's like, what's the shortest amount of turns you can get through the maze? And I was like, I don't know, it's somewhere in like 42 and 43,
That-
and then I just tried those.
Same. I was really close. So I
just kept going
I
down.
thought for sure I had the right number, and I
Same.
guessed it, and I was like, that's got to be it. I tried it again. I was like, okay, so I went one below, one above.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just kept doing that.
There
until
were
I-
one or two where I was like, I can figure out a range, so let me just go da 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 da.
Yeah.
Who had a really hard time resisting buying all the figurines?
Is the first thing I did. Is the first achievement I got was finding wandering the building, finding dollars, bought all the figurines in one go.
I did not.
I just stood at the machine and I bought all of them, and it was fun to watch the balls drop. And it
It
was
is really
actually
cool. Yeah.
the exact number of balls you can buy
Yep.
is what you can visually see in the machine until they're all
It's,
gone.
That's
it's
really
neat.
cool.
I really like this game's attention to detail.
Yeah.
Every single gaming space looks so cozy.
Yeah.
By the way,
I did find the gaming room. Yeah.
you just didn't figure out how to activate the game.
Didn't figure out. I tried the Konami code and then kind of gave up.
Well, but they have codes in there. They have a button code.
There's a
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
there's a note,
piece of paper
there's
in
a piece
each
of paper on the table in each of the 3 rooms.
Yep.
Because there's 3 game consoles.
3 levels. Mm-hmm. And they tell you how to go into developer mode. Because that's what cheat codes are. Like, they were a way to access, like, developer
Do
tools.
things
Yes.
quickly to test stuff.
Konami code and
Yeah.
gave up.
I did try I tried the Konami code too the first time, but I was like, wait, there's no AB.
Yes, that's.
So I just hit
was
A.
about to do that, and then I was like, "Oh wait, no! Let me just look at the actual hint the game gave me."
Right?
And then, yeah,
I love an orangery. I love having... Do you know what an orangery is?
No.
Does anyone know what a...
You put oranges in it?
yeah,
Well, yeah. You put
Place where you
fruit
grow
trees.
oranges.
yeah. It's where you
Uh,
grow
Okay.
It's a place to have fruit trees growing all year round.
greenhouse
Call
for
it a
trees.
greenhouse.
No, you wouldn't call it a greenhouse because that's different.
Oh.
You don't put fruit trees in a greenhouse. You put
Yeah.
fruit trees in an orangery.
Oh.
Can you?
No, you shouldn't
Why wouldn't you?
because
I feel like you
Because
would.
then it won't be green. It'll be full of oranges.
well, it's for different types of
Yeah.
It's different types
yeah,
of
greenhouses
So
are
why-
for greens. Orange houses are for oranges.
Now, different humidity, different light levels
No,
are
it's the
required for
colors.
different plants.
It's the colors. You'll never find orange in a greenhouse. Go to any greenhouse, any place where you bind stuff. There's no orange there.
There's no orange there.
Yeah,
it's
there are
a
no
lot of
orange.
oranges.
It's because
Yeah,
you're
you
not
can't grow orange
oranges.
flowers inside. It's
It's
a fact.
because you're not in an orange house. If it was a
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse
That was
sort of
good.
dealio. Not the
It was-
apocalypse,
The
but
little
the
blackies.
biblical.
The blackies were.
The toy
A
blocks.
note on that.
That's
I
annoying.
feel like I am font blind because, like, I swear to God, I was like, I was fitting them in. I was like, that's that is it.
That's a B.
I was like, that is a B.
Motherfucker, that's a B.
That is exactly what this font looks
Nope.
like. This matches perfectly. But then if you were to if you were to look at my handwriting, you would understand because you'd be like, oh, well, that guy thinks an A is this whatever the fuck that is.
Yep.
Like, and his E's, I don't think he's seen an E. That's what you'd say. Yeah.
Anyone fuck with the magic words?
Oh my fucking god, that was one I looked up,
loved it.
and I was like,
I
"Fuck
loved it.
this!"
It was so fun.
Word math.
It has like an equation to figure out these magic letters, which are useful in
So-
certain spots too.
So here's what's funny about that one. That was one where I never would have figured it out in a million years. Another, coincidentally enough, font blind.
Yes.
The minus I saw as a hyphen.
Yep.
So you're supposed to interpret this one thing as a piece, as an equation.
Yep.
And I thought it was like this through this.
No.
As opposed to this minus this.
this.
Never in a million years would I have found that solution without a guide.
Because math sucks.
Because I could, because looking at this piece of information, I
Your
saw a dash
English
and I
brain.
thought, yes.
You're like any
I
dash.
thought writing, I didn't think numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
There's speaking of typography, lowercase z and uppercase z for the bug report for me.
That one, I almost made that mistake. I was like, wait a minute. The Z was kind of small. It was kind of small. This is probably stupid. If I get it wrong, that's probably the mistake I made, but let's just fucking go. And I got it right.
Yeah.
But it was like,
So you and I thought?
almost got that.
I thought these were all magic numbers, or no, magic words, and that there wasn't only 2 magic words, that there was 4.
Oh my
so
God.
I was trying to figure out what all 4 magic words are.
Oh, jeez.
Nonsense.
That's not a thing.
Okay.
There's only 2.
Yeah.
But it was me overthinking again and having to go, wait a second.
Yep.
Is that a capital Z? And literally, I was like, wait a second. That's a lowercase z.
Yep.
That's right.
Little Z.
Little z. Did anyone get the weird images from the old lady?
I did not teach her to see.
No.
No.
No. You did figure out how to say the words to her?
I feel like that was probably going to be the next puzzle I solved. I was pretty close to because I was starting to notice words that were like the things she was saying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that's probably this.
Did you get the medical report that tell you explicitly what you're looking
No,
for?
definitely no.
Well, it's next to her dead. Dead.
I did read
Her
the
bed.
medical
No, I read that.
There's a second
that tells
page.
you.
There's a second page to that medical report that I
Excuse
didn't
me?
notice the first time. Yeah. If you hit to the right over,
Yeah.
there's a page that literally has a list
Yeah.
of things you need to tell her. Like, what
Fucking
are her,
of course.
What are her friends' nicknames? Where's a place she went to travel? Like, what's a exhibit she worked on?
So those were things I was writing down as things to try. So I actually
give you-
because you can also listen to her and she starts saying she says things that are
Yes.
associated with those.
you combine those notes together.
Okay, so I was pretty close. I was going to be guessing inevitably some of those things, but it
She
was
says, like,
gonna
the band
but it was
name.
gonna be a shotgun of random names I had.
You will have
listed and-
specific ones now,
Yeah.
and you'll notice where
Makes
they all
sense.
come from. Have you two, Dale and Max, done the puzzle boxes? Really?
No, that was one of the last things I got to, was finding all the puzzle boxes and realizing they're connected with the year room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The puzzle boxes, I love the puzzle boxes. They all look really cool.
When
I just want to say, like,
yeah.
design-wise, I think they're very aesthetically pleasing.
Puzzle boxes are some of are the actual only real life puzzles I really enjoy a lot because it's like something physical I can have and manipulate and move
Yeah.
around.
Got the
It's-
tactile feel.
Yeah, it's I can spend more time being frustrated on that than just other 2D puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked the safe puzzles that were behind the movie poster doors.
Yeah.
I
I
liked
like figuring out the movie
liked those.
posters. Yeah.
That was a fun aha moment for me, movie poster doors. I looked long enough at the one next to the elevator and I went, that's pretty clearly a plus sign.
Right.
I knew I was supposed to be associating numbers
That's
with
a
the
math
posters.
puzzle. That's a math puzzle.
But it's still logic.
It's a math puzzle.
It's more reading
Year
comprehension than
plus
logic.
year is math.
Sure. It took me forever to figure out the shortcuts. I was past 50% before realizing how to unlock the shortcut doors.
Like you didn't know
Oh,
where
at all? Like associating
Yeah.
that's funny.
Oh,
Puzzles?
the
Funny.
first one I was like number.
So
No, I truly did not know.
What clued me in was that it's a 0 to 99 dial, and he's like, every one of these puzzles has a number that solution is 0 to 99.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
so
I was
what
like,
I thought they were, I truly started just solving them. I like took when I first got that book, I'm like, all right, let's go through and just solve all of these.
I did a few
because
of that.
I thought the
yeah.
game was teaching me how to play this game.
Yeah.
That the puzzles are gonna every single puzzle that I will encounter in this game will be like these ones in this book. They're not.
No, they're probably the most different puzzles from all the other puzzles in the game.
A lot of I didn't know that. That's a lot of my information was based around all the puzzles will be like this, and that stressed me out. And I was like,
Me too.
these are gonna be really hard puzzles.
Yeah, so because those are some of the first puzzles you encountered in the game, this was a very intimidating start for me.
Set
Because
the tone.
Yes, I saw that and I was like, well, I'm fucked. And I think Faden, I texted you. I was like, I'm fucked. Like this is because most of those puzzles at first glance, most of those puzzles were just exploding my brain.
They look like man.
And then without fail, except for those two that I said like I just never figure out on my own.
There's a few of them.
Yeah,
the German word one I can't figure. I don't understand.
I figured that one out. I felt really good about that one. You count the number of fucking dots,
Yeah.
including periods and punctuation.
Yep.
That part took me a while
Yep,
to get
but
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense.
yeah, I got that one. But again, it was simpler than you were thinking.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I was like, all right,
I was
what do I
looking
know
for a
about
code-
German
Yeah.
compound words?
Me too.
I was literally going
Me
through my
too.
like college
first.
German language classes in my head,
I-
going, all right.
I was doing that for about 2 minutes, and then I was like, "It's not. This game has not told me one fucking thing about the German
They're
language.
not going to expect you to
That's
know
not it."
anything about
Yeah.
even what type of language this is.
Yes.
and I knew that, but every time I tricked myself, thinking, well, if I figure this out, it will help me actually solve this puzzle because I can't figure out the way they wanted. So maybe he actually does play with this.
I did have a funny thought though. I was like, I know Uncle took German. I'm wondering if they're stuck on this puzzle because they're like trying to figure stuff out. And I was like,
At first, I was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shortcut book is kind of it's kind of fun. I won't lie. I did like
That's another one
solving
that gets
them.
randomized.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The answers.
Answers are different.
One of my favorite ones is what is the number behind this question mark? But there's a black bar.
Yeah.
And the question mark is the number of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Simple as.
Oh, yeah.
It fucked me
yeah.
up because
That's good.
It
'Cause
was
you look
for
at the black bar and you're
Yeah.
like conditioned to think, oh, well, what's behind that?
Yep.
That was the quickest one for me to solve.
Then you
It
look
took me
at the
forever.
question mark.
It took,
Yep.
it took me forever. I kept writing the numbers down in different ways. I kept seeing how they could. Can I flip them?
That's
Can I
the
rotate
single
them?
fastest
What's
puzzle
the
for me to
Roman
solve.
numeral?
Yeah. That's funny.
I kept overthinking these things.
But yeah, usually if you're overthinking, try to simplify.
Stop.
And
Walk away is
Look
the
at-
only thing that worked for me, and I didn't follow that advice. But
Yeah.
That's all the game.
that's the best
well,
solution.
and because I was kind of coming in hot,
yeah.
I really sat myself down. I'm like, no, I got to figure these out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to keep going.
One of the shortcuts is knowing square roots, which is also math.
math.
Well,
Math.
no, because it wants you to draw it.
No.
Yes, because that's how I solved it. I started drawing squares and doing.
That's how they
like a
teach
little-
math these days, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
visually.
I'm talking about
That's how they
the
used
one
to
that's
teach
like
math thousands of years ago, too,
1,
actually. It was all visual.
4,
Uh-huh.
9.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a black box in the sequence.
Right, and it's 25.
What are you talking about drawing squares?
Drawing squares to figure out what's a square number.
Yeah. It's a new way they teach square.
And it's
like
funny. We say it's
This is-
new.
this is how
This
parents-
is how they taught math before we knew about square roots, like and stuff. There was everything was geometry. So to think about, the way numbers interacted, you were drawing shapes a lot of time.
That's how I figured out square roots as a kid. Like, well, they're squares.
yeah.
So just if you can make a square,
yeah.
it has
3
a
sets of
square
3.
root. Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that for a couple of the puzzles. I was constructing shapes in my head for some of the numbers because it's
Yep.
just easier for me to see a
Now-
shape than it is to think of an abstract.
Now
concept.
I will tell you something for you all.
It just clicked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Just
don't know how
like
to-
math does.
One
is a square.
is a square because
It's
you
one.
can draw like one.
It's one square.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
4 can be 4 pixels,
Two.
which are squares.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I like how you go to pixels.
Well,
No, it's just funny because we're talking about games.
we're talking about games.
Yeah. No,
Gotta
it's
stay
not a
on
bad
topic
thing.
here.
Right. Got to be in theme. No, the fuck. What was the other puzzle? We were just talking about.
There aren't any other
The
puzzles. We've
only
named them all.
other puzzle
Oh,
we
sorry.
haven't
No,
talked
I remember.
about.
It was what you said about recognizing shapes and numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious on how you're going to deal with an entire set of puzzles none of you all have even encountered because of the way they interact with the puzzle box and then telling the old woman stuff. Because she will give you a puzzle
Okay.
that's also randomized that is key to solving the game.
Okay.
I'll just
Is
open.
it for the passwords and the?
It's for one of the
in
passwords in the supercomputer.
Yeah.
I'll just show this chart that I had
Oh,
to
yeah,
make.
I know what that's for just by looking at it, but I'm excited to interact with it.
Yep. So that was.
So the astrology clock.
Didn't get the
W-
astrology
yeah.
clock.
That
because-
is the one question I have.
That's because you haven't gotten into the revolver room,
I haven't.
Nope,
I
no.
found the revolver room, but I haven't gotten
Right.
in. You're right.
and that's because you haven't gotten into the orangery.
You're right.
Does the orangery have a bell in it?
No.
Okay.
The third eye bells.
Oh, are there bells in the third eyes?
No. Are you talking about the
three
three
bells?
pictures of a bell?
The three bells.
I loved that figuring that one out. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Did you figure that one?
I haven't figured it out. The clue that I looked at said,
I said I
where
love
else
that.
have you
I
interacted
kept saying I
with
didn't
bells?
love this game, but I was like,
That-
ooh. I felt so. That was one moment
was
where
one
I
that
was
was
like,
Short,
cool.
fast dopamine burst
Yes.
followed by
Did you get that one too,
long
Max?
anxiety. No,
Yes.
I have not.
That one.
Is that one I should be able to figure out?
Yeah.
It is literally in that room.
Yep. It's in the room.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. That's a cool
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. The bell is in the room. Yeah.
So, figure out the orangery and you can get into the revolver
Okay.
room.
yeah. Like I said, I think seriously, I think I was like one session away from getting
Yeah, I'm
this.
hyped up.
Yeah.
Can we wrap this up so I can?
No, because I had other things to say.
Okay.
I think. Oh, did anyone? So who saw the Magician show?
Oh, I just got the rose. So,
Magician or
yeah,
musician?
I didn't see it.
Magician.
I haven't seen it.
No, have
Okay.
not seen The Magician.
There's a show that takes place at that stage.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it relate to seeing all of the?
It relates to cards.
Oh,
but-
okay. No, I was
But there's
close to
also
getting all the cards.
there's
I
also there's side on the sides of the Magician show. There's another show you can see for $10 a piece.
$10 a piece.
Oh.
You saw a few of those, which gives you a
Haven't seen them.
magic fairy tale origin. How would you describe these?
Yeah, they're like the Grimm fairy tale, Grimm Brothers
Yes.
fairy tale
Interesting.
kind of. There once was a girl who did this, and then fucked up shit happened, but
Right.
she overcame through the power of.
But she still lived a life of misery because this is also Grimm fairy tale.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah,
No,
it gives
didn't get there.
stuff in the third eye area too. It's very
Okay.
yeah.
I did 2 of those. How many are there? Like Four.
Yeah, you need $40.
Dang.
I've been told through some other guides that you can find enough money to do
Yes.
everything.
Yes,
So,
there's an exact
feels
amount
good
of
then.
money.
yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, that feels less
you
good.
get all
But
So yeah, I probably should have spent all that
Now,
money on the
okay,
gotchas
So
then.
you can get all the gotchas, and you can get
Yeah, but I have to find all the dollars now.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
you gotta find the other.
Yeah. So there's there's 100 American dollars. Did we know why they're called American dollars?
Because you're in Germany.
Yeah.
But okay, so none of you found the actual there's 100 marked dollars that have this weird code on it, and it's the case number, I believe, of the murder investigation of yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yep. So it's just
Cool
a
little detail.
neat little thing, and there's just literally the description is we don't know why there's these marking on these dollars. You can actually get to that description if you look at the inventory item of the money and stuff.
Wow.
Did you guys read the item descriptions?
No.
Some of them, but I don't remember
Highly
any
recommend
of
it.
them.
They actually give you hints on how to solve a lot of things.
Wow.
Yep.
Didn't realize that.
Yup. There's some things that are now I know how this connects.
That's pretty cool.
I do have the
It's a
game
good
on.
game.
Yeah, I have the game on Steam now, and that's why I first started playing. So I'm 2 hours, and I just got into the building.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm supercharged to be able to have all the tools
Right.
I need to get a
Yeah.
lot of these
Just go
answers
and go
now.
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
The
that
computer
flow
files.
state.
We haven't talked about the computer files. The adventure.
Oh yeah.
Click and point
Those
adventure.
are
games.
okay.
Click adventure.
That felt
Love
like
'em.
that game you keep trying to make me play, Norco.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
big
yeah.
Norco vibes. You
Yeah.
need to play Norco.
Sure.
You just need to do it. I bet when you beat Norco, you'd be like, "Wow, I'm really glad I played that."
I hope so.
And if you're not, you can come onto this podcast next month and yell at me.
It's true.
you have that right, yeah. I love the pink Mac software style line.
Cool.
Yeah. I like all the technology noises, everything. Anytime booting up or anything.
The computer. The computer is so good.
DOS.
Yeah, some fucking DOS.
That was
shit.
satisfying noises.
Every time you save, it has the really clunky saving noise on the floppy disk.
Yeah.
You're getting data written to a disk.
Yeah.
I love having just to do a rotary telephone.
That was all right. We've progressed.
I'm so glad we progressed away from rotary telephones.
Yeah, I don't
no,
like 'em.
I don't
I
like
don't like
them.
them. When you were playing with one hand, that's another one where I'm like, I wish I had a mouse right now.
I love
Let
that.
me just click on the button.
So, who played around with calling places?
I called way too many places. I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, were you calling the phone book?
Oh, I was calling all kinds of numbers in the phone book, baby.
Nice.
I thought the phone numbers in the phone book would help you with more than one puzzle, and they don't.
Sure did. I sure did that too. I spent way too much time on the phone book.
I thought every time a name came up, I wrote it down. I was like, check the phone book later.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Me too. That was first couple hours of the game once I'm in the hotel. I kept every name I got. Same thing. I wrote it down. I was like, look up that number. And I would go back. I would go, oh, there's nobody like that in
Nobody. Where's Weiss?
Yeah,
Where's
the
Kaufman?
telephone is for literally the phone book is for literally one puzzle, and then you're done with it forever. And I kept thinking, nope, I got to come back to this.
But you do get more phone numbers as you go about.
Yes, you do.
The fucking hotel. I wanted to say mansion because
It is
this is
well,
just the
it is a
Spencer
mansion. It is a mansion, and
It was a mansion, you're
It
right.
is an art exhibit, and it's a hotel.
It rules. I
Yeah.
fucking would not want to stay here because, of course, the vibes are bad.
I would. I love bad vibes. I'd love it.
It's so haunted.
I would stay in the basement.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would stay in the game room in the basement. That does look comfy.
Yeah.
Sleep on that couch.
Sleep on that couch.
Yeah.
Play the haunted ass forest level.
Spooky.
Is there any last thing before we want to get into questions? Any last Lorelei? Any last puzzle shout outs?
I'm excited to play this game over the next couple months.
Yeah.
I really am. I was having a tough time before, but I think I just got recharged to, when I'm in the mood for puzzles, I'll open this up and play a couple hours.
There were a few moments of despair where I thought I was gonna rant about how much I hate this game, but yeah.
One of my favorite things about this is just looking through my notes.
The
and just-
rambling
Me too.
notes.
Yeah.
Just like I love
The
just seeing
symbols.
Sigma. This is some Sigma numbers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's me just writing down fucking names, acting like, oh yeah, these names are gonna come up in the phone book.
Yeah, that's what my note is here. Is just all these phone numbers I tried for different things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Some of the phone numbers you can do is the room numbers, the year numbers, if you
Yes.
call them.
Yep,
They have
I
little
did-
snippets.
I did do that. Yep.
They don't give you hints or kind of
Mostly more random
story
gibberish.
hints.
Just information.
Yeah, story hints.
It gives you. It fills
What's
out the
happening?
story more.
Yeah.
2014 one's interesting. But yeah, I think it's time to get into some questions.
Questions.
Starting off our question segment, the Bean Sprout asks, in an alternate universe, what parts of this game would fail or work as a VR game? My understanding is that this is a maze puzzle game.
That's a fairly decent understanding. I think it would make the maze stuff scarier.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
I would be
you'd
freaked
feel-
out in that
you'd
red
feel
maze.
even more like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I wonder if, though, would you then...
And Maze Face, too, being chased by Maze Face.
Yeah, would you keep
Oh.
it the perspective cameras you have, or would you be first person?
You have to be
Lorelei?
first person.
Yeah, I
Right?
think so too.
Imagine
or
though-
swapping. I think there'd be some
If you have a
fun
maze
sections.
face, though, like just turn your character around and you just
Yeah.
maybe hear the noises.
I almost brought
this would be more of a horror game if it was VR.
Yeah.
I would hate it.
I almost brought this up. Like one thought that I had while playing the game was like, There's a lot of interesting puzzles that would the puzzle boxes. It'd be really cool to manipulate this in VR. That'd be really cool.
Yes.
What if the cameras in VR were like security cameras, and you only have
Five Nights at Freddy's style.
Yeah, you could like switch between different perspectives of the same room, but only have so much range to look back and forth like a security camera.
I think this team could make a really interesting VR puzzle game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
definitely.
Part 2 of question: do you think the use of lighting, shadow, and red in this game was used well? Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like splashing that red around.
One thing I think we didn't really talk too much about, the shadows, is that there are textures within the shadows. It's all
Yeah.
Yes.
Strange reflections at times, it seems like.
It's
Yeah.
like scenes of city,
Sometimes
but
there's
like
scenes of
abstract.
cities,
I saw buildings and stuff. Yeah.
fleur-de-lis,
Yes.
and sometimes there's like static, just like
They have
like you're
images
looking at a-
overlaid, these
Yeah.
shapes that are like broken from the shadows.
The screen kind of glitches sometimes too when
Screen-
the
lot
maze
of
guy's
glitchy.
coming for you.
That, or when you even switch to different rooms.
Yes.
The screen glitches when you switch to a new main area.
As though a camera was following you, watching you. It's
Swapping,
swapping
turning on
between
off.
cameras.
Yeah, it already kind of has that security CCT kind of vibe.
a little bit, yeah.
But that's just like the not isometric, but
the nature of that kind of
yeah, that sort of fixed camera position.
yes.
Would this game still play fine if there was more color, or would it not be as effective?
I don't think it'd be as effective.
No.
A lot of its identity is black, white, red, I think.
Yeah.
But I think you can add other colors too, but I think this is the best option.
It adds pink.
Yeah.
It does add quite a bit of pink.
I think it would work, but that's because I don't know. Color's weird for me.
I guess it really, as long as they kept it as sparse as they keep the other colors, it would
Sure.
be fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it really is that black and white and
I think
grays.
Yeah.
I think it's a very specific tone with
The
that, where it's
contrast is
black and
nice.
white.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
did anyone get the coffee machine?
No.
No, I couldn't figure
Coffee scented door I could not get open.
Oh, you didn't get the C key?
No, I think I did. I just never used fucking coffee.
If you read the description for-
fucking duh.
If you read the description for the C key, it's like, oh, the aroma is rich.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it talks about the smell of coffee and stuff
Damn.
like that. But as soon as I got the C key, it's like, yes, finally, caffeine.
Yes.
And,
Run.
and
This
yeah,
element
and
that the game tells you about immediately,
Yeah,
and you might
and then-
not unlock until 70+%
it
through
takes
the game.
forever to unlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to run fast.
That's funny.
time to
also-
go unlock that.
But also your bladder then starts to matter.
You have to use the bathroom in the basement.
Oh yeah, did you wash your hands every time?
Every time.
Yeah, I gotta wash your hands.
I did, and except for one time, and then nothing.
I did,
changed.
except for one time because I thought something might happen. I
did-
thought
same.
maybe
Same.
Renzo would come in and be like, "Now, Senor."
Filthy.
Do we
Yeah.
know if there's anything that happens?
Maybe
I tried it, nothing happened.
Okay.
Maybe if I just keep doing
Maybe
it,
if you
get
keep
sick,
doing
and
because
then you
this game
die.
is also
Yeah.
like that too, where if you keep
Yeah.
doing something, I just keep thinking about things about this game.
One more question from Beansprout.
Okay.
Just about video games in general. Should God mode be an available option included all video games? Why or why not?
Yes, but it should always be locked behind some kind of
code input.
code or gameplay. I think like you should be something you unlock through playing the game.
Okay.
Like, I think you should be allowed to do it. But I mean, obviously, there's always an option to access those kinds of developer tools if you're using like a PC or something.
Yeah, just put a cheat
Yeah.
engine on.
Yeah. But yeah, I think most games would benefit from that. More player control.
Give me more unlockables.
Yeah.
I think the development of achievements and trophies really stopped cheat codes from being a thing because
Kinda.
they're all worried about that bullshit. And I think we just need to get rid of achievements and trophies
Or just
and bring back cheat
just
codes.
link cheat codes with with achievements and
Or who-
trophies. Like when you get an achievement, like the achievement or
Yeah.
trophy
It's so
is
easy.
just a record of the cheat codes you've unlocked.
Yeah, I don't know. I just bring back
it back.
pressing a button sequence and then start to unlock God mode. I think that's how we should bring God mode back
That
into the
too.
game.
I would say mostly yes.
There's-
Give me the God mode in most games, and I think it's a good option always.
I think that's all the questions.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean,
Our next question. Oh, from Bean.
yeah.
Oh, I'll do the next one. The next question comes in from Pilver. What is your experience taking notes or taking written notes for puzzles and games?
Good experience. I like it. I think it's very fun. I think it adds a tactile nature to video games that aren't often emphasized anymore.
Makes them more immersive.
I
Makes
would
you
agree.
feel like
It
a
pulls
real
you right into the
detective.
experience. And yeah, it's a very immersive thing to have to do with video.
Well, what's the games you've done it for?
I've done it for Tunic. I've done it for Lorelei and Laser Eyes.
I love having my giant maze in Tunic be completely fucking wrong.
I've done it for Hydroneer, just mapping out little different plans for my construction. What are some other games? I took notes for. I think I've taken notes for like JRPG games, just for different. Maybe I'm making up this memory.
I'm just lying.
The first one I remember is Pajama Sam. There was
hell yeah.
It's like because it swaps up sometimes. I have to remember where things were, so I'd write down specific stuff like this was here, so I can go get that later once I get this thing, and then cause otherwise I would forget where stuff was all the time. But that was the first time I remember writing stuff down for that.
Havarti.
Provolone.
I knew you'd remember.
Yep.
Oh, I remember we were just talking about cheat codes. I remember handwriting down some cheat codes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Age of Empires 2. We had a sheet of
Yes, we
all
did.
the
Oh,
cheat codes for Age of
Yeah.
Empires.
Cheesesteak Jimmy's.
Cheesesteak Jimmy's. Give Me Gold. I think it's
Yeah, give me gold.
no
Robin Hood.
Yep.
What's the one for the Corvette?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
How do you turn this on?
Yes.
I was trying to think the one for the fucking Corvette and Rogue Squadron.
Oh.
Then there's Furious the Monkey Boy.
Or
Furious the Monkey Boy. Bongo drums on my head. That's when you click on that character. That's what it says. Sorry, we're getting way off the trails now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Uncle, you do any puzzle games where you've written things down, or were you writing things down in games for general?
Yes. Do I remember which games for what puzzles? No.
Oh, okay.
But
It's something you do.
RPGs. Like
Yeah.
I'm bad at puzzles. So if I hit a puzzle of some kind that in an RPG that I don't know how to solve, I start writing things down. Yeah.
I often,
I'm a journaler, so
I'm a journaler, but I don't do it for games often. This is like the first one I've done for in a long time. Or when I do, I usually drop off while I'm playing. This is the first time I've really done it fully, and I'm going to play more games like this. I think I'm going to try to play Myst sometime soon.
Ooh. Yeah.
There's a mix of literally everyone's reaction was different in this room. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Very curious about this.
I'm very curious about Myst too. I'm never going to play The Witness because I don't need Jonathan Blow just fucking being an asshole.
The Witness was something. It was something, all right. I didn't finish it by any means.
But yeah, I really don't do this often. I'm really glad I did for Lorelei because I really didn't look up too much. I've looked up some things, and I never looked up direct answers. I've just looked up the hints at the most.
Yeah. How do I?
And of course,
possibly
direct
solve
answers.
this?
Yeah, don't even help for this game.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
Oh, another Resident Evil thing that I just remembered. Did anyone get the Red Brick art exhibit? Where you're walking down a hallway and a red brick just comes flying through the glass window.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, yes.
And
Yeah.
it's like an art piece where it arrives when it's supposed to arrive for the maximum impact.
You read a placard that says this, and then a brick comes through the window.
That's hilarious.
Yes. It is another Resident Evil reference.
Yeah.
With the dogs jumping out of the
through the
window. Yeah. It's also scared me. I jumped when it happened.
Scared me. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe the Resident Evil dogs got me again. Again.
It is really
just keeps
scary in that
happening.
game.
It just keeps happening. Because, of course, you're not expecting Aunt Lorelei.
No.
It's there's not going to be a jump scare in this game. And then a red brick just comes flying through the fucking window. Because you read a
Maximum
placard.
impact.
And the thing has a key on it that's like, you made a great game. I like this.
There is one more question.
There is one more question.
It's for Faden specifically.
Oh, God, right.
From red alarm shield set to full.
From Red,
From red.
Red was on the KOTOR 2.
How would you have made it past the number puzzle without your wonderful husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. How?
Yeah,
How?
Faden. How?
Man, let me find specifically. I think I wrote down which one Red helped with. Also, another one of my partners helped with another one. I made sure to write it down, though.
Okay, magic word Taya and Hate. Did you get this? No. Okay.
No.
Nope.
I don't know. I guess I can't find it, but it was 2 shortcuts. It was 2 of the shortcuts I couldn't figure out. That I'm like, figure it out, Red.
Yeah.
I need help. Oh, it was the one where finding the square root numbers, and he was just like, it's 25. And I'm like, oh. Can't remember what my other partner helped me off with.
Math game.
Math game.
Confirmed.
Lorelei's math.
It's not a math game. It's a logic game.
It's a math game.
Calculator
Yep.
for a reason.
What is math if not logic?
That's right.
That is actually true, but it's not about like actual doing the mathematics, like doing the damn work.
Do the damn square roots.
That's it for questions. If you ever want to send us questions, find me on Blue Sky, Faden Cross. I'm there, or hit me up on Discord if you know me, or on our Discord if you're listening and you're on our Discord. What are we playing next month?
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, an adventure game that I think might also be a little puzzly even.
So, Dale, this is another one of your
This
picks.
is another one of my picks. Oh, I was going to talk about Lorelei.
Yeah, why'd you pick Lorelei? You know, we always do this, and we forgot to do it this time.
Yeah, I was going to do that at the very beginning. Lorelei and Laser Eyes came to me through a YouTube channel that I like to watch from time to time called Game Ranks, and every now and then they'll put out a video called 15 games nobody's talking about, or 25 games that
That you can play with one hand.
And so this was on the same 15 games no one's talking about list that Indica was on, which is another game I've talked
Not
about.
Sativa?
Not Sativa. Another game I've talked about on this podcast. And so shout out to Game Ranks on YouTube for putting together some fun
I
games.
can't wait to get into the milkshake duck of Game Ranks.
The milkshake duck of what?
I
Speaking
can't
of
wait.
codes.
Speaking of codes,
Yeah.
I'm more just saying, like, watches is like, all right, and Game Ranks is an out-and-out Nazi.
Milkshake duck. Okay. This duck is actually a Nazi.
Right, this duck drinking a milkshake is actually a Nazi. Uncle, I love how you had that expression. We explained it on the podcast before.
I explained the milkshake duck on the podcast.
Was I there?
Yes, it was to both of you. Anyway,
Great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad they exist at least because this game's amazing. I'm glad we played it.
Play Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. If you got anything to promote, now is the segment to do it. Volunteer at your local community theater. You'll have a lot of fun doing it. You don't even have to act. You can help with production in a number of ways.
Yeah, you know how to sew? They need someone. You know how to move a light?
Can you swing
It's
a
easy.
hammer to build set?
Or buy tickets and go see it.
Also that.
Yeah.
Community theater rules.
I saw professional off-Broadway theater, and the fucking like manager of the theater came out. It's like, I'm so glad you're out here supporting theater in the mid-Michigan community. I'm just like, motherfucker, none of these people live here. What are we talking about? What are we doing here? Supporting mid-Michigan theater? We don't have repertory theater here because of this bullshit, assholes. God.
Support community theater though.
Do support community
Live
theater.
and local, baby.
America has a repertory theater problem.
And that's it.
That's it.
Only problem we have, actually.
That's
Yeah.
it. If we fix a repertory
Thankfully.
theater problem,
There are 3 problems in America.
One.
See the birthday boys.
repertory theater. What's the other 2 problems?
Lines.
2 lines.
Lines.
We just have a line
Gotta
problem.
wait for a line.
Yeah, construction lines.
Or just like
in
the concept of
grocery
using
store.
lines, the amount of lines we use.
Shout
Just
out to
like
the birthday boys sketch comedy.
I don't know who that is.
That's the bit that I'm doing right
All
now.
right, what's the third thing?
I forget. There's a song about it though. There are 3 problems in America.
But what's the third one?
I think it's racism.
No, but what's the actual third problem? No, that's not a real. God, that's just inherent. It's not a problem. It's a feature. All right, I guess the third problem is feature creep. Have a good night, everyone. Good night. Good day.
Good day, good afternoon. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yep. But no good mornings. You don't get any of those.
Nope. Just sleepy until around 10 a.m. Then you start waking up once the caffeine starts
just
kicking
EP.
in. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Fuck off.